Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Stadium. I am your play-by-play for the evening, Brent Ponovin, alongside. Ooh, is this a new person?
Say hello. Alex Wallace doing your color commentary tonight.
Alex, we got a great game here today, don't we?
Both of them coming off huge victories. Last week, of course, Long Beach City College ended up having a crushing defeat, of course, 42-24 at Golden West.
You know, that's one thing Long Beach has been doing. They've been trading wins and losses back and forth, back and forth. They haven't actually had a streak going yet.
Well, we're running into a team that's coming off another large victory as well. They're coming off of a huge win against an undefeated team at that point. A 1-4 team, Orange Coast, was able to give them a crushing defeat. I believe the score was, if you have it there.
I do not have it there.
Anyways, it was huge. These are two highly offensive teams. The defense hasn't been there for the last two, us giving up 24 points. So Long Beach City College does have to have their defensive mindset, I believe, coming into this game.
We already know Long Beach has the offense on lock almost. I mean, Grant Lowry has been a bit shaky, but he's been solid.
And well, Mount Sacs coming in, they did originally start a quarterback of the name of
Good luck on that one, Alex.
Richard Stemetti, and he, I believe, has now gotten the bench from what I'm finding out from Mount Sac and our sideline reporter Dylan Russ for the evening, and we'll be throwing it down to him later on at the end of the first half. But Jive McGaley has been coming in, and it looks like he hasn't been playing too bad. He's been able to do a good job of throwing touchdowns, but he is a little loose with the football with 4 interceptions.
Yeah, Mount Sac switching from a mobile quarterback in Richard to this new one. And this new one's a little bit more this one's a little bit more stationary. He's going to be playing a little bit more in the pocket. You'll see Long Beach, however, they have several ways of offense here. They have a lot of receiving, and they have a very good running back in Elijah Bynum.
Elijah Bynum, you're correct on that. 5 games played, 72 rushes for 462. Is averaging about 5.5, a little over 5.8 a carry. That is not bad, and that's going to be something that I feel like Long Beach City has to hold on to. Those 2 fumbles that he does have, I don't think is going to come into play tonight. I think he's going to have a good game running the ball.
Also, just for your information, both teams are lining up on the field. It looks to be who's kicking off?
31.
31 is kicking off for the opener.
For Long Beach City, they are kicking to Mount Sac.
Not uncommon. Prefer to defer to the second half. And that will be caught, and that will be charged in. Running into light blocking, escapes from it, and gets into open space. A bunch of Vikings trailing him, and they will push him out of bounds just before the 30.
Yeah, number 18 with the tackle. I can't believe he caught up to him, but he did what he can out at the 30-yard line, Brent.
Tackle was Jason Coltzclaw. Long Beach last season had a bit of trouble tackling. So we'll see how Long Beach does in this game. I think with this quarterback, if I can get my the stats on me, keeping him in the pocket, but also making him move around and get some pressure was what helped Long Beach in the season opener. I want to see them go back to that a little bit more, but also not to break down mentally and physically in the second half.
Double back set, looking right.
And that is taken out of bounds around the 25.
Nice check down. I mean,
nice
you know what?
Down. John Brady be proud.
Opening up with a nice large kick return. Easy check down to the running back in a double back set.
Yeah, they're already in Long Beach's territory. So this is not a very good start for Long Beach City College.
As I was mentioning before, this is how I think Long Beach City needs to come out. They need to have a big stop right here, Brent.
They do, and right now there's a run play. Won't get much yardage on it, and that'll be brought down probably about a few yards. That was 2nd and 5, so now it's probably going to be about, 3rd and 3, depending on how far he got, if he got anywhere at all.
3rd and 4, it looks like.
3rd and 4, so you got a yard in the play.
This is when Long Beach City needs to step up.
They
look like they have a single high safety, possibly running man. We're going to see. They got the 4-3 set.
Well, that's going to be the big thing. Long Beach's defense has been questionable. They normally fall apart in the second half.
They got a 3 wide on the left. Looking
and
right.
Look right. Brought down on the catch, but that looks good enough to get the first.
Brent, I think he's going to be. Ooh, that's a nice spot they ended up getting. We'll see if the refs end up looking the same way throughout the game. I thought they might have some home field advantage.
Well, speaking of referees will play a big part. Long Beach averages quite a lot of penalties, so we should be very cautious about that as well.
Here we go. We'll see. This is going to be a big play. I feel like Hakeem Macy might be looking this, number 13.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch him. And that's a throw, and that is going
to be almost picked off by number 24.
And he was looking for Cameron Coleman. Cameron Coleman leads the team in receptions and in catches. Well, that's the same thing. And in yards.
Guy Olford, the DB, sophomore, 6-footer out there, potentially with an interception off his fingertips.
Long Beach has a few players of the week last week, including Cross Poyer, who's a DB, and we have a flag on the field.
Look like it's going to be a false start on the offense.
Not what you want in that area.
And as I was saying, false start on Mount Sac, pushing him back 5 yards.
Mount Sac's first penalty of the day.
Taking him back out of the red zone, which is good for Long Beach City. This is going to be a 1st and 15, so we'll see a 2nd and 15. Shotgun.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of shotgun plays.
I'm thinking he's going to pull the draw. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. They tend to go to this running back a decent bit. Running game actually is pretty useful for them. And it looks like the quarterback's taking off, and he will just get past the line of scrimmage, but not much further.
Nice pickup. As I was saying, looks like the quarterback with some smarts right there, able just to pull down the ball with that nice opening on the left-hand side, little QB draw.
Both quarterbacks are fairly mobile. That's why I think you need to keep these guys in the pocket a little bit if you're Long Beach.
Getting down into the red zone is the time for the pressure on the quarterback. These 4 interceptions, this is the time where the field starts looking a little smaller for these quarterbacks.
And that's when the defense starts looking like receivers. And there's the drop, there's the snap. Going to his right, and that'll be incomplete. Long Beach on him.
Number 6, Shelton, freshman, 6'1", 170, able to get that deflection.
Well, you know, that's what Long Beach needs. They need lack of mobility, and that'll bring up 4th down and 7. Obviously, not a good idea to go for it at this point, so I imagine we're going to see some special teams. And we will. And that will be Andrew Rodriguez, who is actually 3 for 5 on field goals in the season. Both teams' kickers actually 3 for 5 in field goals.
Well, no matter what, it looks like Long Beach City, the Vikings came out on top on that one with that long run all the way down to the home 30-yard line. I think Long Beach will take that as a victory.
That is definitely a victory after giving up a huge return on that kickoff.
Able to hopefully get back on the right page here.
First play, they came out and got punched in the mouth, but then they stopped. They thought, and they came up with it. Also got very lucky with the penalty.
Well, speaking of getting punched in the mouth, a couple notables, Brent. Carl Weathers, speaking of him, Apollo Creed from Rocky. So now you filed me right into that. You know, getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, I did.
Luckily enough, that's for Long Beach City College. So Apollo Creed has gotten punched in the mouth, and as we all know, a lovely, lovely story that Rocky gets told. But Carl Weathers is an actor that went to Long Beach City College, also known as Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore. Still sports related, right?
Yeah, that's one of the greatest sports movies of all time, if I say so myself. And the kick is up, and that will be a little short, and Long Beach will take it up the middle, and they will get to about the 35. So Long Beach not as big of a return as Mount Sac had.
Charles Clayton, DB for Mount Sac, sophomore, 5'11", able to take him down roughly around the 37-yard line.
Well, if you notice the blocking, definitely a little lacking compared to what Mount Sac had, but also they were able to get off the sideline. Long Beach went straight down the gut. Now we'll see our first action of Grant Lowry. Grant Lowry has attempted 238 passes on the year, completing about 134 of them. And that will actually be a run play. And he'll be brought down with not a huge gain. And that will be actually
Marquise Mason coming in. Has played 4 games, 12 rushes, 111 yards. Not looking bad, Brent. 9.3 average.
You gotta wonder
That's looking good.
You gotta wonder when they're gonna bring in Bynum. If he's, I know he's playing today. They don't have him on the injury list, so we will see. And that'll be a check down, and he'll have some space, faking him out, and he will get some distance. Not sure if he got the first down or not.
Mike Wilson, sophomore, 6'3". I like his size, 190 pounds. He looks like he can ball.
Looks like it won't be a first down. Yep, 3rd and 1, so he got about 7 on that one.
Still thinking
rush.
Quick slant here.
Any quick play would work right here. Long Beach has plenty of options, lots of receivers that can catch, especially Jabari Minix actually is a very good one if you throw it high to him. Cedric Bird leads the team in catches. So we'll see how that turns out. Long Beach taking all the play clock they need, and that'll be a check down, and that'll be the first down and more, and he will get brought down outside around the 35 into Mount Sac territory, and that will be Mason again. You'll see Long Beach doing a big trend that's going in football now, using that receiver out of the backfield, throwing the ball to him.
You got to be a hybrid now. You got to be able to catch the ball along with holding onto the ball.
Sorry, Agent Pearson.
As you can see, Mason has no fumbles, so he is able to be holding onto the ball. Ball security is a must right now.
And he has a few catches in the year. Don't have the exact number, and that's to Cedric Bird. Cedric Bird leading the team in catches. You'll see him and hear his name a lot. That is a very common thing. He actually, I think, leads the team in touchdowns for receptions, or from receptions. This is probably a better word for it. And he leads the team in yards as a receiver.
Another sophomore, 181 pounds listed. Like his size, 5'9", quick guy in the slot, able to pick up those yards.
Hey, he's about my height. You think I could do that job?
Sending out. Marquise is out to the right.
And there's another little chuck down, but he'll get about 4 or 5 yards on that one. You see a flag? I thought I saw a little yellow flying through. I don't think I did.
I like the play call, so Brent, able to get this quarterback, Grant, give him some confidence, understand that it's early in the game, chew up some clock.
Yeah, Grant Lowry has been back and forth sometimes, but he's definitely, after coming out the shoes of Jake Mayer, it's been a little difficult. Jake Mayer now playing up at UC Davis. But, you know, Long Beach was blessed with a really good quarterback, and now they've got to make it work with Grant, who only had a few snaps last season, as that run play will get past the first down and right about the 25.
Mason making Mount Sac's interior defense look like it's not there currently. We'll see if they can end up shaking things up a little bit on defense, but we'll take it at the moment.
Mason's seen Bynum get too many touches. He's like, no, I want some of those.
There we go.
Coach. There's a throw.
Another.
That'll be Deshaun
Colominico, wide receiver freshman, actually. Nice to be able to talk about this freshman. He came in and he's starting for a reason. He kind of reminds me of an Adam Thielen on the Vikings. Plays this little bit of slot, typically not on the outside. Doesn't have the size for it, but yet has the speed to play a good slot, as we were just talking about Cedric Bird, another up-and-coming wide receiver for Long Beach City.
And looking to chuck it down, and that will be to Jabari Minix. You'll see a lot of him as well. Jabari having a lot of play time last season and now. And you'll see, and we'll see Sean, number 25. He actually got a huge game in the first game. Not in the first away game, he actually lit it up. I don't remember the stats per se, but he was the one they were throwing to, and I think he earned his roster spot and his starting spot that day. So we'll see. We didn't see a lot of him recently, but he's getting really good.
Well, I see one-on-one coverage right now for Minix, so I would not be surprised if Lowry ends up throwing a post.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Minix, you will see
in
the end zone a lot. There it goes right to Minix, and it'll fall incomplete.
Not quite a post. I like that route, the one-on-one on the outside.
Yeah, you'll see with Minix. Minix can get open. He's very good at route running, and most importantly, he can catch when you give him a ball up high. He's got a good vertical, at least from what I've seen. Cedric Bird obviously is a bit more of the go-to.
I would not be surprised if they end up drawing up a run play right now, being able to put the 3 points on the board, took some time off the clock, still early in the first.
Looking for instruction from the coach.
Turnovers down in the red zone are a killer.
Yeah, that's one thing Long Beach has to watch out for. They threw a few
Coming with
interceptions
the blitz.
in a while, and a little bit too early in the blitz, it looks
Is
like.
that going to be a false start?
I say that looked a little too early.
Looks like a timeout was called. Long Beach City. Right before the play clock ended. Nice timeout for by Peabody.
Yeah, there was a little discombobulation there. I guess they were all on the same page there. Coach wants to talk it over and, most importantly, avoid the penalty. Don't want a play clock violation when you're in the red zone.
We do have veteran sophomore quarterback, but sometimes the coach needs to come in and call a timeout if he sees something defensively that he's not liking.
And to be fair, this is Lowry's first year starting. Lowry played last year in spades. Most of the time it was Jake Mayer's job. Occasionally he would get in a few snaps. And 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the quarter. Mount Sac up 3 points to LBCC 0, but of course, this is their first possession. 3rd and 4.
As I was mentioning, spread out wide, 2 on each side. Would not be surprised if a run play is called for Mixon right now. Excuse me, Mason.
And it will be a pass going to Wilson, and Wilson will come up with it.
Lovely route. Mike Wilson.
And that is the first touchdown of the game. Score 1 for Mike Wilson. That is his 4th in the year.
6'3", 190. As I said, he has the size for a D1 receiver. Gave that just a chance in the back of the end zone, and Mike ended up being able to take that down.
Very good ball by Lowry. Very good ball by Lowry, I think, as well.
Well thrown ball. Only person that could catch that was Wilson.
Here comes the kick. Our kicker is actually 100% on the season, even though that is actually not the starter. The regular kicker is 100% on the extra point, but this one also is apparently because he got his. So that'll be 7-3 in favor of LBCC, and we're gonna have a replay. Here's a slow-mo replay of the throw. You see, just past the receiver and using his height to get around it, Mike Wilson getting the ball and getting the score. And that'll lead to the first touchdown for the Vikings. And now we are back live with LBCC kicking off to Mount Sac. Hopefully Long Beach can tighten up after that last kickoff, Alex.
So far, so good. It looks like the offense, once again, is the driving focal point for these Vikings.
7-3 in favor of LBCC.
They're looking good so far. We'll see what happens on this kick return.
Kick is up. And that'll be in the end zone, touchback. So we'll take it back on the 25-35. Can't remember what the line is.
Cannon Chandler, freshman running back, looking a little confused on that bounce right there. Wasn't quite sure what to do with it. Did the smart play, able to take the touchback, bring it out to the 25. LBCC is excited for that, for the fact that it is not on their own 30 this time.
Yeah, it was a lot better than the last one, that's for sure. So
we'll see how they're coming out this time. They're gonna have to march down the field this time. We'll see what they look offensively. We got 2 receivers on the left with a double back set.
One in motion,
coming
and that'll
around.
be a handoff. And he will get into space and get to the 40 where he's taken down around the 45.
Scott, number 1, wide receiver sophomore. Small guy, listed at only 160, but as you can tell, has the wheels.
Yeah, Long Beach using a bit of an option there, using the player in motion and getting the freedom to get the movement out into the 45. Nice gain by Mount Sac.
Mount Sac coming in somewhat of an odd set, kind of looks like he's able to have an option, and he ends up with the handoff this time.
Yeah, they used that option worked last time. You might as well trick it up and see if Long Beach is expecting the same play. No, try something at the middle, but it didn't, obviously not as successful as the last one. So we will see how that continues with Mount Sac using a little trickery on Long Beach and see if Long Beach can respond to it well. That was a 2-yard rush in the play, 2nd and 8 for Mount Sac. And the Mounties looking to throw, scrambling out of the pocket. Was about to take it his own, but dinks it off, and that'll be taken out of bounds. Small gain in the play.
Darian Hambrick, sophomore, listed at 6'6", big boy out there, able just to kind of check it down to him.
Yeah, that is definitely a big boy.
Lean, mean, wide receiving machine.
Hey, you know, sometimes height helps you when you're trying to catch a ball, especially when you're taller than the person defending you.
Well, unlike Hakeem Macy, listed only at 5'7", some of the times a running back is able to almost, let's say, hide behind his offensive line, almost not being able to see him visually for the defense. So, like to be able to keep him under wraps.
1st and 10 for Mount Sac. Dropping back, and the throw is incomplete again. And once again, targeting Cameron Coleman, 2nd time incomplete. Right now, the running game's been a little bit more efficient for Mount Sac, especially with the little trickery plays they've been doing. But Long Beach keeping on their toes when in the backfield.
Well, Cameron Coleman, homegrown from Fontana, should have caught that ball. Hit him in a bad place, right in the hands.
That is a very bad place to catch the ball. Dropping back and going deep, and he gets that one.
Well, it looks like Coleman must have ended up hearing me from up in the booth.
I know, you're loud.
Turning shoulders. Good ball, though, getting that away with the blitz coming from the Vikings.
Yeah, nice little streak play there, too. I'm trying to go, just, you know, sometimes you just got to throw it to the receiver, get his confidence on, give him some targets. Just let him know, hey, I see you. Just do something for me.
As you said last time, Brent.
On the 18.
Into the red zone.
They'll be on the 18. It is first and 10. And screaming is the defense, and the quarterback has no option but to throw it away.
Once again, the field starts shrinking once you get into the red zone. Looks like Long Beach City has a good chance of holding them once again to a field goal.
Held that 1 second more, that would have been a sack.
I'm liking what I see so far out of number 8 for Mount Sac, able to deal and handle with the pressure, not coming up with any balls besides a few tipped ones that had the potential of an interception, but keeping those 4 interceptions at that.
JV is making the smart decisions. You know, he saw the pressure coming, threw it away instead of trying to make a play out of it. That's a big thing to have with quarterbacks. Just keep it cool and make a decision. That is going into the end zone, and that'll be caught for a touchdown for Mount Sac.
Number 24, Chris Jackson with the touchdown, freshman.
Chris Jackson, that's actually his second of the season.
Nice play, bad defense. Just quarterback ended up losing him past in the end zone. Nice ball though by number 8 from Mount Sac, JV, just coming through.
Yeah, he had no one near him. That was definitely a defensive breakdown. That was all Long Beach.
Trying to push it up by 3.
And there's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So that will be 10-7 in favor of Mount Sac. Both teams not able to get a stop.
As I was saying coming into this game, Mount Sac and Long Beach City, both highly volatile offenses, but yet their defense has not shown up, giving up 24 last game.
We're going to replay the touchdown. Here's where he lost them. You can see way ahead of him. Just not much the defense could do there. And almost actually dropped it a little bit. Didn't seem to have it fully in his grasp until he brought it down.
Would not be surprised if Coach Peabody has a few words for Cross.
Cross.
St. John Bosco, I'm telling you, that's a great high school.
LBCC
he didn't learn that there.
Jazz band. Going to be playing a lot of the tunes throughout the night, and you'll hear them in the background. And that ball is up. And they're bringing it up. Long Beach will be, and that'll go right into coverage, brought down just before the 30.
Damian Gatlin with the return, number 16. Kind of got put in the middle of nowhere right there. Short kick.
Short kick and not a ton of blocking. Kind of was doomed, but Long Beach had.
That's that pooch punt.
Yeah,
might as well.
Yeah, that's true. Long Beach didn't have a great return last time, and they still made it work. So we'll see how that turns out here.
Alrighty, empty backfield.
Five wide.
Yep, trips right. We'll see what they got. Playing off a little bit.
Jumping back, going to Minix. Minix will get a few yards in the play and be brought down without any yards at the catch.
Homegrown from Compton, able to reel in that catch. Possibly getting about 4 yards on that.
Yeah,
I think they'll take it.
You'll see a lot of Minix. You'll see a lot of these receivers. Long Beach loves to throw. They have a great running back as well, but these guys love to pass. This is a passing program. And here we'll see a fake to the run, and got a lot of space, but brought down at the catch from Cedric Bird.
Almost breaking free on that one. Cedric Bird was going to take that to the house.
That was a very good read by Lowry and a very good route by Cedric Bird. You'll see a lot more of him for sure, as he has 37 receptions on the season before that one. So he's probably got a few more now.
Love Bird running those routes, able to cut that in, taking the cornerback completely out of the play, giving a huge window for
Player
Lowry.
Motion, Lowry dropping back, going long to Bird. Will overthrow him. Bird couldn't get to that one. So that will be an incomplete 2nd down and 10. Ball in the 49.
Sometimes you got to give your best wide receiver just a chance to go out and make a play down the sideline. A little overthrown. Thought Cedric could have caught up to that one.
Also another thing, this game is actually a memorandum of Tim Johnson, a player that just passed away recently. Our thoughts are with his family. Passed away in late September. And there's a run play, and he'll be pushed back. That looks to be Elijah Bynum. You'll see him, the leading rusher, 462 yards on the season. Maybe a little bit, and actually probably it didn't look like he got a gain on that, so that'll be 3rd and 10. So he
even lost a yard, depending on where those sticks are, Brent.
He lost a yard, yeah. Yeah, he definitely lost a yard, so that is 3rd and 11.
Bynum.
Larry in dire straits here.
Out to the right. Able to catch the ball. Good hands.
Larry dropping back, pressure's coming. He's going to let go of it quickly and throw it away. Dangerously throwing it to Jabari Minix. That'll bring up 4th down, and Long Beach will be forced to punt. Unless they got a secret weapon at kicking we don't know about.
Lowry needs to be able to stand in the pocket, I think, just a little longer, not be so afraid of that blitz. He had decent protection. If he would have just gave his wide receiver another few steps, it looks like he ended up being able to beat him down the sideline.
Punt return lining up around the 10-yard line. Long Beach hoping to keep him there. Be great field position for them. Especially because this is the first drive they haven't scored on, and Long Beach has definitely had problems with that. Looks like he's calling for a fair catch, and that will be it.
Fair catch around the 16, it looks like.
Good position for if you're Long Beach. A little bit shorter than a touchback, so that's exactly what they would want. If you're gonna punt, you want to put them in a bad position to get a score, and that's what Mount Sac's been doing, is scoring.
Well, this will be 2 possessions now, able to keep them out of Long Beach City's yard lines.
Now, they've scored both times, so Long Beach needs to stop here, because they can't. If they fall from behind, this team normally plays most of its play in the first half, and the second half kind of fall apart. So
looks like some zone coverage right now.
And that'll be taken to the running back. He will go a little bit wide, but he'll be brought down just after the 20.
Big hit by the Vikings defense right there. Able to set number 13, Akeem Macy, down.
Akeem Macy leading the team in rushing for this game, 351 yards. We'll probably see more of him this game, as he looks to be lining up next to his quarterback. Player in motion again. And they'll hand it off again to Hakeem. And he will, looks like he's handed it off.
Play action even caught Brent by percent.
Yeah, he did. He caught me. Yeah, he caught me.
48. Matthew Brown, tight end, coming out of the backfield. Even tricked Brent with that one.
Oh, yeah,
you know. Pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, that's the fun part of play-by-play. Sometimes you just get into a tunnel vision and you just don't see what actually was there.
Good thing Brent's not playing defense.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. No, if that happened, I'd get tired at the 10 yards of running. Maybe even less than that.
Demetrius Scott taking the end around. Also, as you can see, is the punt returner as well. The guy has speed. Sophomore, 5'7", 160 from South Carolina.
Less than 2 minute 30 in the first quarter. Mount Sac moving the chains a little bit. 1st and 10.
Another notable from Mount Sac, Ron Renicky. Just thought I could throw this in there. MLB player and third base coach currently for the Dodgers.
Well, you know, he's a little busy tonight. He's probably not paying attention to this game, I imagine.
Alrighty,
dropping
the
back.
blitz.
And he is brought down just before the 35. And that is Scott on the reception.
Tackle by Justin Prince, freshman, but 190 in the backfield, wearing Adrian Peterson's number, coming in with a nice hit.
Well, you know, if he was wearing Adrian Peterson's number, he might have fumbled that.
Well,
even though he doesn't even have the ball.
Adrian Peterson, Patrick Peterson, what am I thinking? Arizona Cardinal. But Antonio Pierce, also from Mount Sac, Super Bowl champ with the Giants. Ended up getting undrafted, 9 years in the NFL, but ended up going to the University of Arizona.
And he will get the first down. That is Coleman. Coleman getting a few more yards on that play and getting enough to move the chains.
Looking like they're a pretty comfortable connection right there. Coleman with another grab.
Well, they definitely are pretty comfortable. 25 receptions before this game for Coleman, leading his team. No receivers on the left side, it looks like. And a little bit of confusion there, talking to the coach, and we're back to it.
Alrighty, looks like some zone coverage.
Hanging off to the running back and brought down.
You must have noticed the same thing I did. A small run up the middle. Seems like the running game for Mount Sac can't quite get any traction currently.
That's Alam on the run.
Esfonso Alam, running back, small running backs for Mount Sac, it seems like.
Hey, sometimes you need the speed.
Well, in a pass-first offense, as we can see here, another reception for Coleman.
Yeah, you'll see them go to Coleman a lot. Coleman has just a few more than his other receivers, but you can definitely tell they prefer him, especially in this game.
Most likely thinking that's going to be the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, that'll definitely be the end of the first quarter. Alex, what was your takeaways from the first quarter?
Once again, first thing that I brought up, Brent, I believe that both of these teams have an offense. As we can see, Mount Sac actually able to make one stop. That is the difference in the game currently. Mount Sac 10, Long Beach City 7. It's going to be a defensive game, I think.
Well, that'll be a very interesting thing for Long Beach, as Long Beach's defense can be a little bipolar.
And shaky to say the least. It looks like they have some decent coverage. If we can hold the running game to where it's at, I think we'll have a good chance in the second quarter to not only put up some points, but hopefully have a few stops in the second.
Once again, both teams waiting for the first quarter to end, the second quarter resume. A little bit of words in the coach getting their hydration.
Might as well just throw in another notable. He and I, Brent, we were talking off the air about LaVar Ball, tight end at Long Beach City College and signed to the Jets practice squad.
You know, that name sounds familiar. I wonder, I've never heard of this guy.
I've just found out about this guy.
Yeah.
Currently next to me, Brent is wearing a number 2 for the Lakers.
Oh, that's where I've heard of him.
Also known for being dad of Lonzo Ball, second overall pick in the NBA draft.
I did not know that was this kid. You know, you
what
hear
I
him in the
didn't know
news.
is that he played tight end for Long Beach City College.
Being facetious, of course, LaVar Ball, father of Lonzo Ball, who is, well, hopefully LaVar Ball has less ankle injuries than Lonzo's had so far.
All righty, back to some Long Beach City Vikings football. Second quarter just starting.
Switching sides, and now they're all lining up again.
Bringing the pressure.
Around the 50, going up the middle, and that will be incomplete. Pass intended for Hambrick, Darian Hambrick.
And once again, Shelton with a great defensive play, able to lay out and get a hand in between the ball and the receiver's hands.
That's what Long Beach needs to do, stop that pass game.
As we mentioned in the first quarter, one of the big differences is just getting some momentum for your defense, being able to make a stop on 3rd and short, 3rd and 4.
A little crowded in the backfield. And whoa, and that would be the punt. Didn't have a good view on the punter there, and that'll be Cedric Bird on the run. See, Bird will return the punts quite often, and he'll get there just before the 30. So Long Beach gets the stop they needed.
Taking that ball in traffic ended up being a good decision. Only ended up having one blocker back there. I thought that was a good call, though. Nice veteran move, be able to pick up a few more yards, get this offense going in the right direction.
And we have an injured player on the field. Can't get a read on who it is. Not what you want to see, regardless of team.
Number 98, Joe Williams, looking down at his teammate. Joe Williams being a Long Beach native. 6'5", 350, big boy out there. If they do need to get this injured player to off the field, no need for a cart.
That was 63. He's up. He's moving around pretty well. I mean, that was, well, that lasted.
Looks like Matthew Buell, the long snapper, able to get off the field without any help. That is a good sign.
You never want to see a prolonged injury, and sadly in football, it is a rough sport, so once in a while you see those. Now back to the play on the field. Lowry dropping back. You'll see a lot of shotgun offense from both teams.
Single high safety here.
Looks like that'll be handed off to Mason again.
Once again, not quite being able to get the penetration they did during the first drive for the Vikings. Run game trying to get started here, but can't quite get any traction.
Yeah, if you do a good run game, that opens you out to the play action where you can confuse the play-by-play again. So used to volleyball, that's my curse. And that'll be a drop back and a throw, diving off the screen. Looks
number 8 with the catch. Got Milshawn Lathan, 6'3", another guy with nice size. Out of Orange Lutheran, Placentia native. Nice to see some homegrown talent out here.
That'll be 3rd and 4 for the Vikings. 13:43 left in the quarter.
It's a big play for Grant. I think he's going to be able to get some momentum if he's able to get a completion here for a first down.
Yeah, they definitely need a first down, and we'll see on Long Beach wide open, and that will get it.
There it is, my Thielen. My Thielen look is right there. Colomenico, wide receiver. Nice catch, 25 in traffic. Not afraid to get hit right there.
Well, you know, in football, you gotta be prepared for that. That's for sure. And we will. Looks like we'll have a substitution here. Colomenico actually is leaving the game.
Lawrence Nern in for the game for Colomenico.
That'll be a play action to Cedric Bird, it looks like, and that'll be a first down and a decent gain, and that actually was not Cedric Bird.
Once again, getting tricked over here.
And we got another
Lawrence
down
Nern,
player.
Colomenico, who was replaced. Nice fill-in catch right there.
We got another down player.
For me, it's looking like he might have cramps.
Yeah.
It's a little early.
Someone
Hopefully
didn't hydrate.
nothing too bad. Luckily enough, we do have great medical staff working with us.
Dr. Grant Uba,
Although
he is Long Beach City College's team physician.
He'll make sure that he is out there and ready for anything that needs to be done.
So for the check on that leg, see if that is all right. He had it in the air when he was down. So hopefully it's just a cramp, and hopefully nothing worse.
It's looking like they're checking out his ankle right now. Hopefully that is not a previous injury that he knows that he ended up re-injuring. Never like to see any of this happen on a Saturday night.
Yeah, you need to turn around and watch the crowd. Don't watch the game. Stand right here.
Grant Lowry looking good this possession, though, moving down the field quite nicely. Even on third down, that is the time that you need to be able to have the confidence to throw that ball over the middle into traffic. Wide receivers able to be catching these passes for him.
It's definitely looked a lot more calm and collective, and it looks like they're signaling to the sidelines that I can't imagine he's going to stay. He's going to be in the game much longer. Normally players are up by now.
We will give you a further update as soon as we're able to see who is down on the field. It looks like they are getting an air splint for him. It looks like he will be taken out of the game. Brent, that's just never something you'd like to see. A lot of these kids being 20 years old on a Saturday night. We like to see injury-free football here at Long Beach.
Yeah, and especially with this age, you know, this could actually hurt potential chances at another school, and even further desires and ambitions they have. You know, injuries in your youth can play a big factor later on, especially in the leg area with football.
But as we were mentioning, Long Beach City, along with Mount Sac, amazing medical staff, so he will get as good of treatment as he is able to. Maria Jai, Megan Rose, Bertel down there for Long Beach City, making sure he is checked up on, along with the rest of the medical staff from Mount Sac.
Looks like it was number 9. So that was Charles Clayton, the DB. He's a sophomore, 5'11" and 170.
This is a big game for Long Beach City. This is a National Central League game.
Yeah, they're bringing out the cards. This is a massive injury, or at least it seems that way. And he is up. They're gonna get him off the field and take into better treatment.
Alrighty, he is giving us. He is pointing his fingers in the air. It looks like not quite a thumbs up, but we'll take it. It looks like he is in good spirits.
That's definitely what you want to see, is good spirits, especially when just a devastating injury like that possibly could be happens. And now you got to wonder how the mental factor for Mount Sac is going to be with one of their comrades injured.
This is going to be a big 1st and 10 for Long Beach City in Mount Sac territory.
Now we'll see if Long Beach can either even up the score or take the lead after getting their first stop. Both teams getting a stop in a row now, after scoring in three consecutive drives.
Shotgun formation. Looks like a single high safety. Putting the running back in motion, number 23.
And we got a whistle.
Looks like it's going to be a timeout for Mount Sac. Maybe the head coach just needs to make sure that his defense is in order.
I guess he saw something he didn't like.
Sometimes when you end up losing a starter, Brent, it's especially a larger part of your defense possibly. It's going to take a toll.
Yeah, I think the coach wants to make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to do, and especially this new player that's got to come in. And probably also make sure the team is up in their morale when it comes to this. For obvious reasons, it's hard to see a friend of yours or a player injured, especially because all these players know that could also be them. So, both teams are going back in the field now. Lining up in the same formation.
Hopefully Long Beach City can continue somewhat getting into a little bit of a roll right there. Let's see if they can maintain this momentum.
All right, the shotgun going left, and that'll be incomplete. Threw it a little too wide.
Bad pass by Lowry behind the wide receiver. I'm not quite sure if they were on the same page or if Lowry thought he was going to be cutting outside instead of inside on that.
Yeah, that was definitely a cut inside, and Lowry thought he was going out, and that is Mike Wilson on the intended target. On the incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 on the 40, Mount Sac territory. In a shotgun formation, once again, we have Mason in the backfield with Lowry. Seeing a lot more Mason than usual. And going back to the left again, incomplete, almost into the defense, almost intercepted. Target Cedric Bird.
Looks like they were bringing the pressure the entire time. I'm surprised there was no change of play on that. Not putting your quarterback in that good of a position with that play call.
Sometimes this is the thing that Lowry gets into, is some of the decisions like that when he's in a bad predicament. You got to wonder and question his play calling and most importantly his read ability.
Looks like they're only trying to rush 3 here. Are they going to bring that cornerback off the end? Looks like he's going to be on Mason. Nope, drop back into.
And
looks like coverage.
Was caught but then dropped down. That is incomplete. Mike Wilson once again dropping it. That one, I don't know if he had anyone to blame this time. I think maybe the coverage, but.
Beat the coverage. Nice little sat down in the middle of that zone right there. Able to get a nice pass from Grant. Just ripped out, I would like to say, by the defense.
Long Beach will have to punt now. And Scott will return it. So again, a deep punt, and that will bounce out of bounds just after the 10.
Cannot complain about Tanner Carcamo's punt right there, putting them back on their own 11.
Both punts have both been around that area. Long Beach's punt has been great today.
People say that kickers can't do anything for a team.
Hey, you know, putting someone at the 12-yard line, I'd say that's something, because that is a lot of field to cover.
Mount Sac's offense coming back onto the field. We'll see if they're able to move down 89 yards.
It's a long way to go.
This could be a big stop for Long Beach City College. A nice 3-and-out right here would give them good field position off a punt.
Long Beach has not been able to get a 3-and-out, and that will be a run play. He'll get into space. I guess your 3-and-out will not be the case, as he is taken down by the 30.
Number 34 with the carry.
Trey Elliott. He has 21 carries in the season now. I guess 22. I'm a television guy. I don't do math.
Some of these, they're putting him in motion every time. It looks like. Letting Trey run right up the middle.
He'll do it again. Hey, what worked last time works again, right?
Offense has no disguise of play call right now, running back to back.
Oh, and so far, I don't think they needed a disguise. They've been moving the ball.
Once again, a Mount Sac is down.
Trying to get a read on the number.
Looks like 77 potentially. Once again, not looking good already. Taking his helmet off and looks to be
Tavita Moe
in excruciating pain.
From Bellflower, another Bosco player. He's a freshman, 380. Big boy.
Potentially, it looks like, Brent, that it might be their center. It looks like number 70 now is warming up.
Yeah.
Albert Guzman coming in for a potential replacement for center.
Yeah, they're definitely warming me up on the sideline.
As we know, Mount Sac does not run underneath center very often, but definitely looks like 70 might potentially be coming in. McGaley taking some warm-up snaps.
And helping it, bringing another player to help him up. He is up on his feet now, but they're going to aid him off the field. Looks like he can't really put any pressure on that right leg. Now he's starting to walk with it a little bit, but they still need assistance.
Mount Sac thinking that it's Friday the 13th on a Saturday. Bad luck and bad juju going on right now currently for Mount Sac. A couple injuries look like.
Yeah, this is about the third injury on the game. One was actually good enough for the player to run off the field in his own power, but two have been one with a carting off and the other obviously assisted off the field. Hate to see that, but once again, this is football.
It seems to be hard for any of these teams to get any sort of momentum with many either injuries, timeouts, or penalties. Currently, luckily enough for us, that it's not the penalties that have been slowing the game down.
Which it normally is.
I should not say luckily, though, because I never like to see injuries, but it's even worse when Long Beach City is killing themselves with penalties.
Long Beach, both teams back on the field. And that'll be a pass going deep, and he will not come up with it. Good coverage on the play.
That is clean coverage right there. Wide receiver looking for a pass interference call, but not going to get one from Shelton. Mentioned his name a few times today, Brent.
Oh yeah, and you might hear him a few more times if he keeps Hambrick under control. As Hambrick has about 241 yards. Oh, they might have actually gotten the call. Yeah, they may have gotten the pass interference call.
Not quite sure where that flag was thrown. It looked like I was looking down on the sideline ref that was running with them.
I did see hands getting into that space, but
oh, this is football, Brent.
That is the question. You know, it didn't seem like enough to me, but you never know. The referees see things differently, and they have a better view than we do. We're a lot higher up than they are.
We're in football heaven. Once again, running it right up the middle.
And wide open to space. He's going to go into Long Beach territory with that one. Long Beach just not being able to stop the run here.
Oh, my goodness. Trey Elliott. He is a load, though. Freshman from Texas. 205 pounds.
Going wide out to the center and being brought down out of bounds. Looks like that was going to Coleman, and it will be Coleman.
Quarterback's favorite target.
Yeah, Coleman's his favorite, especially because Coleman's actually been catching. I think he's the only receiver with a catch tonight.
Those are quarterback's favorite wide receivers.
The ones that catch the ball.
First rule of football, catch the ball. Second rule of football, hold on to the ball. Third rule of football, score a touchdown. And if you want to have a fourth, have a good touchdown dance.
Well, now the NFL is lighting that up a little bit, so you can, unless you're, Odell Beckham Jr.
Trying to run it up again with Trey Elliott, able to be stopped, it looks like, actually in the backfield, if not that, with no gain.
10 minutes 30 on the left in the half. In Long Beach territory on the 29-yard line, 3rd and 7.
Plenty of time here.
Matt Sack hoping to get an extra score before the half, get a little bit of a good lead on Long Beach, make them come from behind in the time they struggle in the second half.
Bringing pressure.
And that's why he throws the goal.
That is exactly why, even though we brought up Hambrick earlier with that pass interference call that ended up giving them those 15 yards.
Didn't need pass interference there.
Got hit right in the chest plate.
That one dropped like a brick.
I like where you went there.
Hey, I had to bring the pun. You know that.
Of course.
Referees are discussing something.
Well, as we were mentioning.
Is Hambrick getting bailed out again?
What is going on? We'll see what's going on. We'll get some clarification.
Holding on the defense. And there's the first down. Long Beach bailing out Mount Sac.
As I was bringing up earlier, Brent, it was nice not to see the penalties. This is what Long Beach City occasionally has happen on defense. They get flustered. They did not need to have that holding call.
Save the hugs for after the game.
Inside the red zone for Mount Sac again.
And they will go to the run again to Elliott. And he will not get as much of the gains he's used to, as he will run into a wall of Vikings.
I do like how they can't run left or right, but if we can just fill that center gap, or if they could just stop running that play, it looks like Long Beach City has a decent
I just
run
don't think they're
defense.
going to stop running that play. I don't know what it is.
Here it comes again. I'm calling number 1 in motion. Demetrius Scott, as I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast, punt returner, kick returner, has plenty of speed.
You know they're going to look to Hambrick less, and Long Beach double covering Hambrick for some reason, and he's going to throw it away.
Good call.
Yeah, the pressure is coming. This quarterback definitely has the smarts on him. He definitely has the mind of a good quarterback. He knows when to throw it away. He knows not to force anything.
And he can extend the play a little bit. He looks like he's got some good legs on him.
Lining up around the 20-yard line. Dave's talking over. Long Beach,
Once
no one to
again,
win themselves here.
3rd and 11 in the red zone.
Long Beach putting themselves in the red zone with a penalty. So we'll see if Long Beach can recover after these last string of penalties.
All right.
And that'll be another case of the dropsies, and that will go down to the floor, and embarrassment for the receiver.
Chris Hunter, the tight end, not being able to hold on to that ball.
That's Tacoma, Washington.
Was it now? Chris Hunter, I thought it was the intended receiver, 88. Yep, but I might have had that wrong.
Yeah, no, that was him.
All right. Tight ends not usually used, especially in college as much as the NFL, but they are some big targets out there.
And Long Beach will try to stop the field goal, at least this time, limiting Sac to another field goal, preventing a touchdown, something they needed, and getting their offense back on the field to try to get something going, and we got a whistle. The Sac needs to sit and talk about this. So we'll have a timeout by Mount Sac. Curious is the reasoning. Can they really need to talk this over about kicking a ball?
Mount Sac left with only 1 timeout for the remainder of the second quarter. This could be potentially...
Yeah, that's one thing I'm curious about, is using that many timeouts this early. I know this is the second quarter, but you still got a lot of time left, and you could use this for clock management later on.
Easily. It's going to be interesting to see. There's no way they're...
And there's the Viking show band playing throughout the game.
Along with our Viking cheerleaders down on the field, both our band and cheerleaders always making this Saturday night spectacular.
Always fun night of vets.
Along with all the crew that is able to put this production on.
Some good camera crew. We got a bunch of people doing their jobs really well tonight. And we will see the kick here. Mount Sac gets to the 13. We'll see as the kick is up. Interesting look, and it will be good.
32-yard field goal. Good for Mount Sac. Puts them up by 6.
Obviously, Long Beach not interested in field goals anyway, so they would probably prefer the touchdown anyway to get the lead by 1. So we will see here.
Long Beach City, all we know is 6 plus an extra.
Plus the 5 field goals we had this season.
Yeah.
We know those when we need them.
Well, luckily enough for Long
them.
Beach City College, we have plenty of time remaining in the second quarter. As we just alluded to, 13-7 after that field goal.
9 minutes left in the half. Cedric Bird and Jabari Minix lining up to return the kick.
We'll see if Mount Sac elects to end up having more of a pooch-style kickoff.
And remember, Long Beach gets the ball back at the half, so if they can take their time on this drive, they could get a score and the ball back. which would put them in good position, as that will be a little bit short. Not the intent. The ones Long Beach rather would have the ball, but he will get a decent gain, and he'll be brought down. Looks like just before the 40.
Juwan Barker, linebacker from Pauley, raised in Compton, taking that about on the 20, bringing it back, it looks like, all the way to the
Probably wasn't planning on getting that.
40-yard line. Nice 20-yard return, though.
Yeah.
Catching it once again in traffic.
I know. Hey, man, you know, he might have a future in some other positions. Just have him run over
pistol
him.
set for Long Beach City.
Player in motion. Fake the handoff, and that'll be to Cedric Bird, who will get some more yards at the play.
Caught
and
in
a
stride.
flag.
It looks like they might call a horse collar tackle right there at the end of the play.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that tackle was a little awkward there, reaching a little higher than he should have.
Pulling him down from the collar. We'll see what the call is on the field.
Waiting on the referee here. Face mask call.
All right, so it looks like I just miscalled that one. I knew he ended up
Same
getting
era.
pulled down.
You know, a little high of a tackle, same thing, just, you know, different side of the body.
I'd like to see the replay on that one, but anyways, another 15 yards tacked on at the end of that. Nice catch in stride by Cedric Bird, putting them almost into the red zone for Mount Sac.
Long Beach on the 22-yard line, 1st and 10,
Grant
going
looking
long, and he will not get it. Double coverage for looks like Minix.
Grant
Or was it Bird?
just not looking like he has quite the touch as he usually does on the ball. Ended up now overthrowing, throwing quite, I think, about 2 or 3 that he potentially should have had.
That was pass intended for Cedric Bird. Well, 2nd and 10.
Trips right. We'll see what ends up happening.
Last minute instruction from the coach.
Sean Colomenico in the slot. Watch out for him.
All right, drum back.
There he is, wide
Right
open.
for Colomonico, and ooh,
As I was saying,
another
Brent,
flag.
Colomenico is not being able to be covered out there. He has been lining up in the slot and has been
A monster of
working.
a tackle, but also a flag on the
Showing
play.
you right there that he is eating, maybe taking a little bit out of Zeke's playbook. There he goes again. Nice to see them having a good time down there.
Referee's discussing what to call.
I'd like to say that might potentially be a personal foul on the defense. I'm not quite sure if they're going to consider that helmet to helmet.
That'd be two in a row for them. It was a huge hit. Yep, you're right. Personal foul. And that'll be a penalty Long Beach will gladly welcome, as that will move the ball
All right, even
way
Mount
closer.
Sac's, even it looks like Mount Sac's cheerleaders are running away right now. Hello, Lisa, to the broadcast.
And that will be put on the 7-yard line, if my math deceives me.
I'm looking at Minix on the outside, single coverage, Brent.
And welcome to, and we hear a person in our ears.
As I was
And
just
there's the
saying,
ball
single
going off
coverage
the screen.
outside.
And it looks incomplete.
Number 21 with the coverage draped all over Minix. DeJamone Jones, freshman from Washington, wearing some prime time out there, looking good as well. 21 all over the coverage.
Dropping
Once
back
again,
Lowry.
going back
Looking
to
for the
the
end zone,
same
and what a
Minix.
play!
As I was mentioning, 43 not being able to get quite over there.
And Jabari Minix
Nice.
is in there.
Nice throw, better catch. Went right back to what I was saying, and that single coverage on the outside. Tried to drop number 43. Looks like Anthony Rosales, linebacker, just quite
Long Beach only needed a minute for that touchdown almost.
Not quite being able to get there. Nice little out route that Minix just ran there.
That was
right
a
to
very
the
nice
post.
route. Minix has actually gotten a good amount of scores in those out routes. And that is good. Long Beach once again 100% on the extra plays. And there's the dive into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Minix barely getting in there.
Taking down the pylon.
Yeah, you know, you gotta let them know. Gotta let them know you're in there, and that's one way to do it. Smack the pylon.
Won't say anything to that one, Brent. Just a
14-13 in favor of Long Beach City College. 1 point lead. Mount Sac looking to respond.
Alrighty, after that touchdown, get a little bit more energy into this crowd we have. Hopefully they can be backing the Long Beach City Vikings just as much as the cheerleaders are down on the field.
Lining up for the kick. Kick is up, and it will go long, almost into the end zone, but he will get it for the return, but he will be stopped just before the 20. Well, he's working to be stopped. There he goes. Took a lot of Vikings to bring that man down.
So like
Demetrius Scott once again with the return. The boy is a little shiesty on them legs. He is quick, and he can make some people miss. Luckily enough, Long Beach City with great coverage on that kick.
Mount Sac lining up for the return, trying to answer back after the touchdown. Now the question is, can Mount Sac recover after giving so many yards on the touchdown there?
We'll see if Mount Sac is going to continue with the run game, even though it has been working. There's 7.5 minutes left in this quarter, plenty of time still, but we'll see if they'll start airing it out a little bit. See if they can put some pressure on the secondary for the Vikings.
Clock is their friend at the moment. It's still a close game. Only a 1 point lead for Mount Sac. So we'll see if Mount Sac can keep the chains moving.
Hakeem Macy in the backfield, trips right.
Back looking for the pass, going to his left, and it will be caught and brought down just before the 25.
Hambrick trying to make up for getting hit in the chest plate on that last drive. Nice catch on the left side.
No pass
for a
interference
couple
on that
yards.
one. Hambrick, I think that might be his first catch of the day. But he's been a bit of a subject tonight. And that will also be 3rd and 7.
Once again, another 3rd and long for Mount Sac. Hopefully Long Beach City does not end up giving him a freebie with a penalty right here.
So far, so good. Pressure got to the quarterback, but the catch and the flag on the play.
Our apologies for that extremely hard hit over the middle. Definitely going to get a penalty marker on that play, but I would be surprised if that wide receiver doesn't know whose house this is.
I'd be surprised if he even knows where he's at the moment. That was brutal.
Brent, I do not ever condone violence, but we all know how physical this game can be. It is hard when you are running as fast as these athletes are to change your direction or where you are headed for that. That was met at the same time the ball
sometimes can be moved.
Referees are still conferring on whether that was a catch or not.
I'd be impressed. That was That's a personal foul. And that'll be a D on number 8 for Long Beach.
Looks like Cross Poyer.
Long Beach faithful not happy.
Cross Poyer, who ended up missing coverage for the first touchdown by Mount Sac, ends up being disqualified for the remainder of the game.
He was also player of the week last week. So, obviously, he's going from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows as he's now removed from the game.
That is what sports can do to you.
Now lining up on the 41-yard line after a huge gain from penalty and catch. Long Beach now playing without a starting player, and the quarterback is going to take off with a player on his back, and he'll be brought down just after the line of scrimmage.
Looks like DeAnthony Jones on the tackle. Ends up being able to wrestle down the quarterback as he was trying to escape the pocket.
It's like a gain of a yard.
Limited to only a yard.
Well, I mean, when you have a play in your back, you don't tend to go very far.
Especially with DeAnthony Jones there.
Look at his left, and he will get it, but he'll be brought back after a short gain.
Justin Allman, Compton native, able to quickly run down that receiver, keep them in bounds, let this clock run a little bit.
Rice on the reception.
Any pressure on their offense.
Lining up is Mount Sac, driving back, looking to his right, going to his right, and off the chest to the ground, incomplete. Looked like it was going for Coleman. Well, favorite receiver might be not his favorite anymore.
Might be able to give him a little bit on that one. It was nice coverage by the secondary of Long Beach City. Throwing it into traffic, putting his wide receiver in a good place, though. Still not making any mistakes. It's nice to see by a quarterback.
Looks like they are going for it, however.
In an odd part of the field with the hard snap. Free play down the sideline.
Long pass going deep and incomplete into double coverage. Flag on the play, however. Are they going to call pass interference again?
Long Beach City, not quite sure. Not quite sure if they're going to get what penalty is it going to be? The pass interference call. If that's the case, they'll end up declining the offsides. Long Beach City jumped with the hard count, it looks like, having a free play that McGaley was able to take advantage of down the left side.
And there's the offsides. Having considered an incomplete pass, but offsides will be called. Now the offense deferring.
So considering it only was the offsides, looks like it's gonna be 4th and 1 here.
That's a lot more favorable than the previous 4th and 6. Now,
Mount Sac being in kind of an odd part of the field, not electing to try to punt this one, looking to go for it, especially now that it's 4th and 1.
Well, the running game's worked at the middle. You might have to go for it again.
Would not be surprised, even with this athletic quarterback, they don't try to just do maybe a QB sneak.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Especially because he's only been hit a few times this game, so you can keep him safe.
I think I might throw it down to Dylan.
Well, quick update on the Dodgers game. LA Dodgers 3, Chicago Cubs 2. So for all you LA fans that weren't able to be with us at Long Beach City College,
shame on you.
You are, please do come down to Veterans Stadium.
And now we'll see what they do in this 4th and 1. No receivers lined up. This is going to be a run. And
alrighty.
very compact field. We'll see what goes on here. And they're going to give it to the running back who looks like he
Easily made that
got
one.
that for sure.
Number 60, surprised a flag wasn't thrown on number 60, pile driving Long Beach City player into the ground.
That'll be the
Mount
first down.
Sac able to get the conversion on 4th and 1.
Only took 2 tries, but they got it. Yeah, sometimes when you move it a little closer, it makes it a little easier, so that helps out too. 4th, 6.
A game of inches, and it came down to 3 feet.
Yep.
I'd like to see Long Beach City try to keep the clock moving. Looks like speaking of that, looks like Mount Sac ends up calling their last time out of the 2nd quarter.
Now clock management.
First half.
Well, at least now they can't manage the clock too much. I think they're hoping to take this to the 2-minute drill here so they can get a stop here. But obviously, they have the need to score because Long Beach will get the ball back at the half.
That's a good point for the fact that I think that I would like to keep this clock running, be able to put a little bit of pressure on this offense and try to make them make a mistake by trying to get out of bounds by either stretching or trying to get that extra yard.
And you especially don't want Long Beach to have the field. The last drive, they scored in about a minute's time, so they can score quickly if need be. Of course, that was aided by penalties. So we will see how Mount Sac responds to this and what the strategy is going into this last 4 minutes of the half.
And Long Beach City still with 1 timeout, 4 minutes on the clock. Big defensive stop can be happening right now.
Players in motion, whistle, and that'll be a whistle.
Looks like it's going to be a false start on Mount Sac. They got a little excited right there, along with 34, trying to run it already into the end zone with the whistles.
Yeah, he was not to be stopped.
I know
I don't care if
you
the
put
play's
blinders
dead.
on horses, but it sounds like he had his earplugs in there.
Yeah. I don't think he was going to deliver the ball. I think
That guy, number 34, is trying to take it house.
Trey Elliott.
Exactly. He, as we were mentioning, it is a load at 6 feet 205.
You can hear one of the members of the crowd yelling, "Stop throwing flags." That will work.
We ended up having a pretty clean first quarter, but this second quarter, between injuries and penalties, has now taken a lot of the momentum that could have been given to either of these teams on some of the good drives they've had.
We'll see what is going to be moved on here, but obviously, as Alex mentioned, play clock slowing down quite a bit with penalties, even though Long Beach, I don't think we'll complain in the last drive, but this one, probably a little issue with it now.
Defense is getting tired. It looks like time possession is going to be leaning towards Mount Sac heavily for this first half.
Yeah, especially Long Beach definitely doesn't need the defense getting tired. There's a hole in their half, and that's when Long Beach falls apart on offense and defense, as he'll be stopped just before the 30.
Very nice open field tackle. Number 6. Once again, Shelton with the stop on the open field.
And also that was 1st and 15. Now it'll say 2nd and 11. 4-yard gain on the play, for those who can't do math. Which, if you're having me do your math for you, I have bad news for you.
What's the bad news, Brent?
I'm doing your math for you.
Alrighty.
You don't want to see my algebra scores.
Well, I like the one-on-one matchup on the outside of the left.
Looking
He's
right.
looking right.
Going short up to Elliott. He'll be stopped just before the 25.
Elliott catching balls out of the backfield. Able to take it upfield for a nice gain of about 7.
Stopped on the 26-yard line.
4 yards.
Third and 7. They are in field goal territory if they needed it, but of course, I think they're sick of field goals by now.
Not quite sure if that's the case. Not at that 32-yarder that ended up getting taken by Mount Sac, barely over the crossbar.
Well, I guess they want to get a little closer then. 2 minutes 30, going to his left. He will get the stretch play out, and that will be just short.
I like how they're keeping him in bounds, get the play clock, continue to run.
Long Beach being smart here. The clock is their friend. They get the ball back at the half.
Darian Bunton with the tackle right there. That small gain right there will be able to put them into field goal range confidently, throwing out the kicker. Delgadillo, freshman out of Carson.
Kick is up. That will easily clear it, but it will not. It looks like it's wide.
Alrighty, as I was mentioning, that kicker is a little shaky. Plenty of time still left for Long Beach City, 1:54 with a timeout.
Basically a 2-minute drill for them. Got to go most of the length of the field, but Long Beach did that last time. Of course, last drive with the help of some penalties. And by some, I mean some massive ones.
Let's see here what the play calling is going to look like, understanding that you still have the lead in this game.
Yeah, you don't have a comfortable lead, so I'm fairly confident Coach Peabody is going to want to put some more points on the board. And with getting the ball in the half, it's not a big loss if he doesn't. And intercepted, it looks like.
That ball has hit the ground.
But it was incomplete.
Pass.
Well, if they could catch, they'd be receivers.
It looked like Mount Sac and Long Beach City wide receivers out there, along with the secondary, decided to play patty cake for a while instead of catching the ball.
Hey, you know, sometimes they were playing a little bit of volleyball. You know, they know I'm here, so they were trying to help me out, make me feel at home, I guess. I don't know. Of course, I hope those guys never play if they're hitting the ball like that.
As you can see, it looks like two high safeties, zone defense.
Elijah Bynum on the field as well. Lowry having to drop back a little bit more, throwing it out of bounds. Smart play there.
I'd like to see them run the ball.
So you got Bynum out there. Bynum's gotten a decent bit of yards. You might as well use him at this point.
I think a poor play call potentially. Try to keep this clock rolling, understanding that you still are on your side of the field, giving Mount Sac only 16 seconds off of the play clock so far.
3rd and 10 on Long Beach's 31 or 21-yard line. 31, they wish.
We'll see what they like to do here. Moving over the coverage.
And there'll be a
that
flag on
looks
the
like
play.
A false start. Long Beach City being undisciplined, finishing off this first half.
Long Beach has got that talent. They're very good at accumulating penalties. 4 in the first half.
Not finishing this off as Coach Peabody is going to like. Would not be surprised if we get some answers from our sideline reporter before the first half ends.
3rd and 15. 3rd and forever. Not just long. And he will throw it to the middle, and that'll be short.
Once again, Colomenico coming through in the clutch, putting them in a decent spot to be able to make a punt.
Actually, they might not have. Ruled in his favor there. Colomenico looked very confused on that after the referee gave him a ruling.
All right,
and
so
it looks like it'll be incomplete. That'll bring on the punt, and Mount Sac will have a chance to get some points on the board before the half. 1 minute 31 left in the half. Long Beach with a disappointing drive, if you can call it that.
Choosing not to run the ball, only taking off 25 seconds off the clock, giving the ball back with about 1.5 minutes left before the half.
And the drive was in negative yardage.
With a very high
and the
snap,
punt
it
is blocked. And they'll throw that in the end zone. And that is a touchdown. What a bad play by Long Beach.
Long Beach City, all they needed to do was bat that out of the end zone for a safety. Ends up giving up the touchdown.
And that is a big error by Long Beach.
Brent, as I was just mentioning, not a very disciplined finishing of this half, taking only 25 seconds off of the clock.
Three
Not
Stooges special
choosing
teams
to
play
run the
there.
ball.
Very poor special teams by Long Beach and poor offense as well. Long Beach is not going in the half with a positive view, it seems like. They got a chance to do something after this extra point, but Long Beach just get the lead.
High snap.
There's a flag on the play.
Plenty of pressure.
19-14.
Personal foul on the offensive coordinator for Long Beach City. So not only is it the
Unsportsmanlike
players, but it
conduct.
seems like the staff
Long
very
Beach is
undisciplined.
very good at getting unsportsmanlike conduct. These guys, not good sportsmen sometimes. That is actually the penalty I would claim they get the most.
Well, I will state that Long Beach City's sportsmanship is great. It's the frustrations now out of the coaching staff because of the personnel and the lack of discipline. It seems like finishing off this half. Too many penalties, high snap, poor coverage, giving Mount Sac just opportunities to take advantage of.
Very bad play in the latter part of the second half. Long Beach's second half woes going and bleeding in a little early for them. Not sure if that is a good sign for Long Beach City College or not, but we will see after this extra point is kicked, after we get the unsportsmanlike conduct stuff out of the way. Yep, that's how you kick the ball.
A minute 23 left. So if you do want to look at the optimistic side, there is some time left for the Vikings to be able to maybe put something potentially together to finish off on a high note for this first half.
And definitely Long Beach needs a high note here. This has been a demoralizing later part of the second half. You don't want to go into that locker room with a negative feeling. And have Peabody give the pep talk of a lifetime as the extra point is good. 20-14, favor Mount Sac.
Well, I know that a lot of sports fans are superstitious, so I don't know if having 1, 2, 3 on the clock is going to be good or bad.
Come on, Alex, this isn't baseball.
I'm sure a lot of these boys out here haven't watched some of those shirts they're wearing in their last victory, so we'll see what happens. We're going to have Long Beach City getting the ball back, as is mentioned.
That's why we have Dylan Rust interviewing them, not us.
Dylan Rust, our sideline reporter, will be giving you an update from our head coach, Coach Peabody, at the end of this first half. We are excited to hear about some of the positives and negatives that the coach is seeing.
And I'm pretty sure right now the theme is a little bit towards the negative side.
Don't believe he's going to have too many positives.
Bit of a different formation for the kickoff, as the kick is going to be a little short here.
Because of the personal foul on the offensive coordinator for Long Beach City, Mount Sac will actually be kicking off from Long Beach's. Yes, that's what I said. Long Beach's.
Whoops. Well,
35-yard line. Tried for the onside kick, but not quite 10 yards. That is going to be Long Beach City ball.
Yeah, that one, I'd safely say that didn't go 10 yards. And I'm pretty confident he didn't get all of that. In fact, I'm not sure he got any of that. That was
coming out with a surprise.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise, even for the kicker.
It's like New Orleans in the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Sean Payton move right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to see if Long Beach City can put something together and finish this first half with a positive note. As Brent and I were saying, it would be
so far, decent
something.
field position. A lot better than they expected.
Be somewhat demoralizing if they are not able to get any sort of points on the board right here. Even a field goal, I feel like, would put them in a decent mind state after this somewhat dismal, undisciplined first half.
Now here's a big question. What do you think the kicker's thinking right now after that?
That it was weird kicking off on the Long Beach City's 35-yard line.
And I'm sure his teammates gave him a little stuff
There it
for
is,
that.
over the middle.
Up the middle. He's got space. He's got
Out of
room.
bounds.
Now he's got blocking, but he'll go out of bounds, stopping the
Surprised
clock.
there was not maybe a late hit on that. Once again, Mike Wilson catching it over the middle.
It looks like Mike Wilson's down.
Going from one side of the numbers to the other, Mike Wilson does look like he is down. As I was mentioning, it looked like he had stepped out of bounds, and Mount
Coach is
Sac
clearing out the area.
ended up taking a really low hit on his knee thigh.
Apparently no flag.
They, as I was just mentioning, they looks like they're checking out his lower extremities.
Well, it was a little hit, so.
The right leg, to be exact, from what our vantage point is seeing.
Long Beach would prefer not to lose Mike Wilson, 426 yards in the season, plus the yards he's gained today. 23 receptions and an average reception per game of 5.8. And the yards averaged 17.7.
Just gives your quarterback some confidence when you got a 6'3" wide receiver out there running the routes.
Well, hopefully he will have that receiver running the routes, but so far not looking so good. As once again, you hate to see this, but this is the reality of a physical game like football, and they will take the field without him.
You're not wrong there.
Still no updates, still on the floor.
I've watched a lot of college football, and it seems that this has been one of the more odd second quarters between injuries, penalties on not only the players but coaching staff. Seeing an onside kick.
This has definitely been the weirdest second quarter I've seen in a while. Especially in my time calling these games, this is by far the weirdest one, the weirdest quarter I've seen.
As previously mentioned, Friday the 13th was yesterday, and it seems that it must be Saturday the 14th. We might need to start a new day.
Not just tattoos and machete murders on the 13th. Apparently the 14th has some bad days too.
Has nothing to do with Jason.
Oh wait, not a good weekend for Long Beach teams, that's for sure.
Medical
and
staff.
he will be assisted to the sidelines. He's putting weight on that leg, so it doesn't seem as bad as we initially thought. He is still limping, so I'd be surprised if you see him in the game, maybe even in the second half.
Hopefully it's just a Charlie horse. I know that he ended up getting hit low. I personally thought that it might potentially have been a late hit on the sideline, but no flag, and the flag that was thrown, it looked like, was picked back up, and no penalty on the play. So Mike Wilson being able to walk off, which is good news already. Don't need to see another fire truck showing up to the stadium.
Yeah, we definitely hate to see the injuries, but, well, I mean, the fire truck's normally there too. No, we need that to make sure the oxygen's fine. So, yeah, at least that's what I heard last time. And there's a reception, and he'll go out of bounds as well. Long Beach managing the clock fairly well. Colo Monaco on the catch, it looked like.
Colomenico showing that not just surfers come out of Huntington Beach.
A lot of volleyball players come out of Huntington Beach, actually.
Well,
There's a
he's a
personal
football
foul.
player, Brent.
Yep.
Minute and 6 seconds, still holding on to that timeout. Long Beach City in a good position right now to be
And a
able to hopefully
penalty
put
on
some
Sac.
points on the board. Long Beach moving all the way up to Mount Sac's 27-yard line.
Long Beach threatening to score now, just what they needed after that terrible last series of unfortunate events just now. And there's the throw, deflected, and does not look, and it looks like it hit the ground. So Lowry saved there. Throw is a little too low. Defense was able to react.
Defensive line always taught to make sure that you pay attention to that throwing lane from the quarterback and be able to get those hands up for that deflection. Nice play by Mount Sac.
2nd and 2. Long Beach with 1 minute, 1 second left in the half. Long Beach will get the ball back, but obviously
Wouldn't be
score would be
surprised
nice
if this
here.
was in the touchdown area. Can see them going deep.
A lot of receivers and another flag.
Looks like it's going to be a false start. Once again, Long Beach City undisciplined, and Mount Sac able to get them to move early.
That'll be Long Beach's 5th penalty on the day, by my count. Long Beach was threatening scoring position, now 2nd and 15. Long Beach needs a little bit more distance to get to where they need to be, or where they want to be.
Empty backfield for Long Beach.
Oh, and a bad snap there and a bad recovery, but Lowry is able to recover it. Looking for an open man. He will get him. And that is the Bird once again, and that actually might
don't need to rush.
Give him and that looks like it'll give him the first. Just what Lowry needed. That's one thing you'll see in community college football is a few bad snaps here and there, normally a little high. This one a little low, it looked like. Lowry unable to come up with it, but is able to recover. And wide open is Minix, but he cannot get it.
There was a hold, to say I'm surprised that none of these refs saw that. You could watch him all the way down the field.
Long Beach City College fans not very happy with the no call there.
Jabari Minix ended up being robbed of a touchdown right there by number 21 by holding onto his jersey for a solid 15 yards down the field.
Yeah, he was grabbing onto him. Even we can see this on this on the screen here. That just looked obvious. You know, sometimes refs miss the call, and sometimes they miss the obvious ones.
A surprising no call. But Long Beach City still in good shape on the 15-yard line, 2nd and 10.
And another pass deflected. Now bring up 3rd and 10.
Number 51, Shama Tapua, getting into a little altercation right there with a Mount Sac D lineman. I liking how we're seeing a little bit of energy now.
Well, they got to be a little teed off after these last few events, and especially after that no call. Obviously, players are passionate people, and a big no call like that could have prevented a score that they could have clearly needed. That's gonna inspire the players to get a little fire underneath them.
Let's see if LBCC can take advantage of this.
3rd and 10, and he's gonna miss his target. Look for Calamonico, and that will go out of bounds, incomplete, not even close. That'll bring up 4th down. Now the question is, Long Beach settle for 3 with 30 seconds left. Do you want to chance it? And it looks like they will not. They will take the 3 points, and knowing they will get the ball back at the half.
We shall see if they can end up making this field goal.
3 for 5 in the season. Ball is up, and that is no good. Not what Long Beach wanted.
Back-to-back missed field goals.
Going all that way to get nothing.
Missed field goal by the Vikings. Missed field goal by Mount Sac.
Well, you know, that's going to be disheartening for the team, especially going into the locker room now. Can't imagine that feels good after all that series of events and then coming up with nothing after that field position.
Coaching staff must be frustrated a little bit by working the ball all the way down to the 15-yard line of Mount Sac and not being able to come away with any points. Big no call, I believe, that happened to Minix on the right side. getting held for 15 solid yards. Not going to put that on the coaching staff or the refs. They should have been able to hopefully come away with some points right there. Looks like they're just trying to kneel this half out. That's going to be the end of the second quarter.
All right, so Alex, give us a breakdown. What happened?
It's a frustrating half for Long Beach City College. First quarter not starting off, I don't think, immediately how they planned with that big opening run back from Mount Sac. But second quarter was just littered with either penalties, injuries, or how I feel missed tackles occasionally. They were able to run up the middle, I believe, in the second quarter for big gains.
Mount Sac definitely had the advantage in the second quarter, and Mount Sac also got the very good coverage of getting that punt and recovering it for a touchdown. That so far is the big play, and
alrighty, the second half just ending. Dylan
I'm standing
Russ
here with head coach Brett Peabody.
with our coach,
So, Coach
Peabody.
What have the Vikings done well so far?
You know, I think we're playing hard, number one. I'm very disappointed in the officiating right now. They gave one of my officials, my assistant coaches, an unsportsmanlike conduct for stepping on the field 40 yards behind the play when the play was over. I didn't even say anything offensive to the official. Then he flags me, gives them 30 yards in penalties. They miss an easy holding call when we have a guy wide open in the end zone that should have been first and goal at the 2. They missed that. So really, my biggest disappointment right now is in the officials. But we've got to play better as a football team overall and overcome the poor officiating that we're dealing with tonight.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Seems like there's been a couple of serious injuries so far. Any comments?
Yeah, I'm worried about one of our guys. He had an ankle. I don't think it's going to be too severe. I think Mike Wilson's going to be okay. It was cramping. Some of their kids went down pretty good. One of their kids, I think, had a broken ankle, which you never want to see.
Yeah.
I love this game, but you never want to see kids hurt.
What changes need to be made going on into the second half?
We've got to maintain a little bit of composure, all right, despite the fact of what we're dealing with on the field of the Stripes. And we just have to execute a little bit more. We've been so close to breaking probably 3 80-yard touchdowns. Just missed here and there. We'll be fine. We'll get it done.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. Stay in tune for the second half. Thank you.
18 being along with Demetrius Scott that has only one gain, or two what? So that's one gain for 25 yards. I mean, he's come out of nowhere, the long being 23.
Both teams are lining up again. Long Beach will receive the ball after, well, mishandling the second quarter, especially towards the end, we'll say.
Undisciplined football ending that first half by the Vikings. Luckily enough, chose to defer getting back the ball.
Definitely something that'll help them, I think, in the end. I think they need to come out here and get on the board again. They need to get some more points and just...
That is the name of the game, Brent. Get more points than the opposing
But the big thing is, and
team.
I was getting to this, they need to get the morale up because, as you can tell from our sideline report, coach ain't happy.
Well, for good reasons. As you can see by watching the game, and if you haven't been able to watch the game, Long Beach City ended up with a dismal second quarter.
Yeah, that was a very poor second quarter by the Vikings. And in Coach Peabody's words, the officiating. As we know, there was a little bit of friendship on with Jabari Minix, we'll say. You know, a little bit of shirt grabbing. I guess he admired the jersey for about 15 yards up close.
He was trying to ask him how he got his jersey to be so clean.
Do you wash this every game, man? But back
and then Minix came back by, hey, man, you know what? No, it's because it's black. It's black. You are the one that's wearing the white jersey.
Ball on the 25-yard line off the kickoff.
Minix set up wide to the left. Single coverage, it looks like.
Probably going to try to keep it a little bit more distance this time.
Looks like safety's going to have him over the top.
That would be a run play. Long Beach didn't do too many of them. Only about a total of 3 rushes on the half. Only 10 yards gained from it, too.
Yeah, if you look at the rushing stats for Long Beach, they are not there.
They literally non-existent. Elijah Bynum has only -1 yard for on the quarter or on the half. So obviously Long Beach, I think, needs to get the running game into play, and they've only gotten 1 yard on that last run.
Putting Bird in motion.
And they'll go to Bird. Bird will get it up, not up the middle, but on the side, but he will not get much on it either.
Well, that's a good sign, though.
And actually, that was Mike Wilson back on the floor. Mike Wilson, as we saw earlier, down on the floor with an ankle injury. Looks like that was okay. And another player down from Matt Sack.
I believe Coach Peabody actually informed us that Mike Wilson was just cramping.
Well, it looks like he's not cramping anymore. But got a player down from Matt Sack, and that's something you never want to see, but we've seen too much this game.
You don't want to say you're getting used to injuries at all, but as of and how this game has been progressing, Mount Sac has had now quite a few players go to the ground.
Yeah, I've lost count at this point, but it looks like he's going to be up and fine. That is
number 21,
Dijamon Jones.
The guy who is holding Minix for about 15 yards before the half ended. Coach Peabody filling us in on his discrepancies with some of the officiating during this game.
Yeah, I don't think he was a fan of it. He definitely made sure that the broadcast knew how he felt about the officials, as Long Beach will line back up and try to get passes on 3rd and 5. Ball on the 30. Lowry dropping back, a little bit of pressure, rolling out of the pocket. Ball up high and out of play, intended for Wilson. That will be bringing up 4th down.
Ball is even a little too high for the 6'3" sophomore on the right side of the numbers. Not quite sure who's going to be more mad at in the moment. Coach Peabody coming out with a 3 and out, not what Long Beach City needed.
The morale is a big part of football, and I think right now, Long Beach has none of it. It's a very down. This game just feels quiet. Just doesn't feel right. And the punt there successfully, Long Beach needed that after the punt return was for a touchdown. Long Beach will cover that ball and put that just past the 40, preventing a return.
Samuel Boggs able to stop that ball from going any farther back into Long Beach City's territory.
Looks like they'll spot it on the 40. And Mount Sac will go to work.
One thing that didn't end up happening in the first half, Brent, was there wasn't any sacks. So they are keeping their quarterbacks upright.
That actually is something I did want to point out. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of quarterback pressure. One quarterback did get hit, but he did not get the ball on him.
Once again,
another little trick play there.
Scott.
And brought down for, looks like, less negative gain, if even that.
Seems to be their little hybrid guy between whether taking handoffs or quick slants or ins or outs. They're just trying to get him in space, it seems like.
Well, that was the play they got him on. They got him that 25 yards was a play in motion.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they just like to get that guy in open field, Demetrius Scott.
Dropping back, looking for the running back, and he will get him, but he'll be brought down for a loss again.
Hakeem Macy. As said earlier by Brent, 44 rushes for 351 coming into the game, averaging around 70 yards per. 2 touchdowns, no fumbles.
So far his average is about 2.3, just a little off the mark.
Long Beach has been holding the run game pretty good. The first half they did allow a few larger runs, 18 by Elliott being the longest, along with Demetrius Scott of a 23-yarder. So right there was 2 big chunk plays, being 41 yards in total.
3rd and 11 after the loss of 1 yard by Macy. So Macy now has a gain of 6 yards.
Here he is out of the
space,
backfield.
And that is deflected. It picked off. Look at the big boy go, and he is brought down at the 20. That is something Long Beach desperately needed. First interception of the game.
Always love to be able to talk about Gilbert Bubba Varela, 272 out of Bakersfield with the grab.
It's not a football team if you don't have one player nicknamed Bubba.
He's rumbling and tumbling, took it all the way back down to the 20.
Towards the end, stumbling.
Right, exactly. Big Bubba coming through with a nice grab.
Those are my favorite kinds of runs because you just know they're not trained for that, and you can tell.
But they always think that they're the best ones on. The defense is my favorite. When they ever get the opportunity, they make sure they try to do the most with it.
Oh, yeah. And now Grant Lowry dropping back on the 20-yard line. Great field position by his defense, and that is not a very good throw. Looking for Minix, but going low. And a little too low. Sorry, Grant, you can't do a skip pass to somebody.
Yeah, he needs to be able to put that on the money. He was open. Nice little,
I mean, he put it on the green.
Nice
just
little
not the green he
right
wanted.
There for Long Beach City. And as Brent was saying, good field position starting out on the 20. 2nd and 10.
One back in the backfield, player in motion for Long Beach. They will hand it off, and he will go straight to the middle, gaining only a few yards in the play. And once he gets up, we'll know who it was, and it looks to be
right between the guard and the tackle.
Elijah Bynum. Elijah Bynum didn't do too much. In fact, actually lost yards for his team, so that will now put him in the positives with a gain of 2. So now he's gained a total of 1 yard in the game. 3rd and 8. Long Beach not doing too much with that good field position so far. Obviously looking to change that here.
I don't see them bringing pressure, Brent. The way that this game has been unfurling, I would not be surprised if they end up actually dropping back in coverage, just showing blitz. Minix in motion to the right.
Right now you got to force Lowry to make a mistake just like yours did. And now going
there it
to
is.
Colin Monaco, who does not come up with it.
Not able to pull that one down.
Now bring a 4th down. Long Beach disappointing after that big interception. Poor Bubba. That play was all for 3.
That's the epitome of a post route going back right of the end zone. Surprised he didn't end up coming down with that one.
Colin Monaco is going to be beating himself up for that one. Definitely a rough time when you can get a good play for a touchdown and just drops out of your hands. Long Beach will now kick the field goal from the 25.
Hopefully better luck this time around.
Now the last one was a whiffed kick. Well, not a whiffed kick, but a missed field goal. That is up has the distance, and it is up through the uprights. It is good.
Making this a closer game, 2017. Mount Sac with a 3-point lead now. Third quarter, 11:09 left. Plenty of time. Nice to see Long Beach City drive down and get some points.
Long Beach desperately needed a score. I mean, I'm sure they'd rather have a touchdown off that interception and that good field position, but right now, they just need points.
Well, the way that Mount Sac is falling like flies on the field, I think that at this point, just getting down, getting some points on the board, getting their defense back on the field right now, hopefully a little more energized after the offense was able to put up some points for them.
Well, the defense so far, starting out the half, very good for Long Beach. Let's see if they can continue that trend. Obviously, not much sample size, only one play in the second half, leading to an interception. But obviously, it worked well one time. Long Beach is going to try to work it well again.
So Ametreus Scott and Cannon Chandler are going to be back for Mount Sac to return this kick. I think a lot of the LBCC coaching staff might be saying to keep it away from number 1.
I would avoid it too early on. The first kickoff actually was a huge return for Mount Sac. So Long Beach obviously wanted to tighten up on that.
As mentioned, keeping it away from number 1.
And number 1's got space.
Number 3.
Well, that is number 3. Yeah, you're right.
Cannon Chandler, who we were mentioning is the Long Beach coaching staff would prefer the ball to go to, it looks like.
Out of Pasadena.
Wow. Brent, number 3 has a back plate that is shiny to say the least. Dejan Owens. Gardena. So just up the 1, kind of off the 105. Has got a back plate that can blind.
That's his secret weapon.
Even with the darkest sunglasses on. Looks like a run up the middle again.
And Long Beach prepared for it, stops it before it gains any traction.
Nice to see that they are making some moves defensively to stop that run up the middle.
Yeah, Coach Beeby definitely adjusting, trying to look at what Long Beach did wrong, which he has a list of things he can use. Running up the middle was one of them, making the careful adjustments to get there. That was a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7, ball on the 26-yard line.
We'll see if Cameron Coleman is still the favorite wideout right now. Ended up with 4 catches for 42 yards in the first half.
Dropping off
Keeping
the
it on the ground.
Again, going to the middle again. It looks like he got a little bit further, but definitely not enough for a first.
Hakeem Macy.
Hakeem Macy getting a lot of touches early on. Didn't get too many in the first half. Only got a gain of 7 yards in the quarter, the longest being 4. He might have just broken that.
I might be mistaken, but I believe the pink is for breast cancer awareness for October.
It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So it is nice to see him.
4 yards on the 3rd down, and that'll bring up 4th down and 4.
Demetrius just never looked back, Brent.
He never did.
Didn't see that one coming. Had to get it out. A little bit of pressure from the LBCC Vikings defense right there. It's good to see that they're playing with a little more energy this second half.
Vikings defense definitely turning a corner here in the second half so far out of the first 2 drives, stopping them both times. First one forcing a turnover, this one forcing a punt. Now, if only Long Beach's offense could do something similar.
So I do think, though, that it is Naheima Shelton, not Cedric Bird, that has been returning the punts. So I believe that was on us. What do you think about that, Brent?
Well, it works for me.
It is sometimes
I'm
hard
just used to Bird doing all the offense, and he will fair catch it there. Ball will be on the 35-yard line. Long Beach will have not the best field position, but at least something they can work with. Even though they did have a ball at the 20 and still only got a field goal out of it, so Long Beach needs to make forward progress. Grant Lowry coming back onto the field. Definitely going to need to make some moves here. We'll see if they either try to get the run game established or go back to the pass.
Well, they are using Marquise.
Player in motion. They're dropping back for the pass, it looks like. Screaming to Jabari Minix, but misses his target.
Looked like Cedric was wide open, just running across the middle. Kind of got into a soft spot right there. No one really around. Ended up trying to choose Minix, trying to fit it in there.
Yeah, possible bad read by Grant Lowry there. Lowry does that sometimes where he just doesn't make the right read. You know, still being in his early 20s, you know, that's still something you got to train out of him. 4 years of high school and a year or two of community college ain't going to make you a perfect quarterback, so.
Looks like they were doing the same thing as they did last time. Mount Sac showing pressure, but then dropping back.
Chuck down to Calamonico,
Oh,
and he is taken down.
Rough hit.
That was a very rough hit, just shy of the first down in line, it looks like. Well, 2nd and 2, now 3rd, and he's
just
slow to get
looking
up.
from here. Calamenico is not most likely getting up from this. This was a hit straight to his right knee, holding it right now.
Once again, another injury on the field.
Immediately taking the helmet off.
Second receiver injured for Long Beach. Mike Wilson, however, came back after the half. This one might be a little more serious as Calamonico is heavily favoring that knee. Training staff checking on him to make sure he's all right. Slowly lifted the knee.
So far, so good. Just having him have some motion in that right leg just leads me to believe that it might not be quite as serious as we might have thought. Still potential of an MCL, ACL, messing with knees for wide receivers.
That is a scary thought with your knee going out in football, especially as a receiver.
Well, Brent, I don't know what else to really say anymore. This Saturday night has been littered with injuries. This is not something that we would like to see.
Yeah, it's definitely not a thing you want to see in football when so many are getting hurt. Obviously, this is a very physical sport, but most of the time, it's normally fairly safe. But today it's just been laden with injuries, and we already had a broken ankle earlier, and hopefully now, and actually both teams had an injury going into the game, so, you know, this is definitely not going to help either team, and obviously you never want to see that as a teammate.
Yeah, some of the
looks like he's
number
getting
7
up
for Long Beach City coming into the game with an injury.
Colin Monaco is up. He's not putting too much pressure on the knee. In fact, he's not putting any pressure on the knee. So they're going to assist him to the sidelines and check him out further. Once again, just not putting a single bit of pressure on that knee or on that leg in general. Both teams will go back on the field and line up.
Calamenico ended up with 4 receptions for 32 in the first half. Doesn't sound like much, but those 32 yards ended up coming in the clutch a few times for the Vikings.
He was also the third most. Actually, no, he's the lowest on his team in the yardage, but still, those are yards Long Beach needed.
Well,
and someone didn't hear the whistle.
Incomplete pass, not known by Mason.
He thought he had an easy touchdown there.
Mount Sac has been showing pressure, then dropping back. That time, thinking of the run, they brought pressure, and it was seen by number 19, Grant Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry's definitely reading the defense a little bit better than he's done in the last few games. Long Beach, as I mentioned earlier, trading wins and losses lately. So obviously Long Beach hoping to get their first win streak of the season if they win today. And the punt is up. Long Beach forced a punt, and that'll be a fair catch. Well, I guess that catches it. Long Beach will take him down after it bounces. That was Scott again trying to return. 8:50 left in the third quarter here. Long Beach trailing 20-17 against Mount Sac.
Not seeing the usual points put up by either teams, it seems like, but that being staggered by the injuries and not being able to get any sort of momentum for any of these drives, it seems like. Mount Sac nor LBCC, though, has a turnover in this game.
Well, I know we are in the season. For all those that are wondering, JCAB actually had stats a state poll, and Mount Sac was ranked 5th, Long Beach unranked in it. So Mount Sac is the favorite in the game, I imagine, besides being ahead in the standings and in most stats. And now the ball will be put down on the 24-yard line.
Not quite updated yet. I believe it's second and 6. Single back set.
He will take it himself, and he will run right into a wall and gain what looks like maybe a yard or two.
Most likely it's going to be it's 3rd and 4 now. Picked up a few. See what Mount Sac elects to do. They have been running the ball well.
But Long Beach has been able to stop them lately, and Long Beach looking for a 3rd straight stop. Of course, Long Beach's offense can't help them.
I'm looking at for a clear out to the right here and a check down to the running back. No, ends up picking up nobody.
They'll get the first down.
Pick up the first down.
That will go.
Demetrius Scott, once again, adding to his total of 4 for 21 in the first half.
And Scott in all-purpose yards is going to have a decent number tonight, it feels like.
80 yards on a kick return for 2 attempts, 61 being the opening kickoff return of 61 yards. That put him in the positives, though, immediately.
Back again, pressure not coming, handed off to the running back. He's going to get space, only 1 minute beat, but he is taken down. That is Trey Elliott again. Elliott, we've seen a lot of 45 yards gained in the first half. A lot more there. That was for a first down, as the ball will be on the 47-yard line.
Luckily enough, Justin Prince was there to be able to stop that.
We got a flag on the play.
Play's going to be stopped. False start potentially. There it is.
And that is on the offense. That is a 5th penalty on them. They're tied with Long Beach again. But obviously, both teams have had pretty severe penalties, quite a few personal fouls. Long Beach with a massive unsportsmanlike conduct that obviously the coaching staff didn't agree with.
And along with number 8 being out for us, Cross Poyer ended up with a vicious hit over the middle, to say the least, but it was helmet to helmet, and he was disqualified for the remainder of the game, and that was in the middle of the second quarter.
Cross Poyer was Defensive Player of the Week last week, so that'll hurt the Vikings, as that is a short pass that will be taken nearly for the first down.
Getting
but he will be brought down
to about
Chris
the line
Jackson
of
in the reception. That'll be a big game for them, as they were after the penalty yards. In fact, actually not a huge gain at all. 4 yards, 2nd and 11. Still a long way to go for the Mounties.
I'd like to see number 93 here get some pressure.
Dropping back, going deep, but he will not get to him. Ooh. A lot of coverage, almost picked off, but he will not get it. Asking for forgiveness from a higher being, it feels like.
You got to do whatever you can. Jeremiah Houston on the coverage right there out of Inglewood.
He probably should have done that before he tried for the interception. Can't turn back the clock on that one.
it's hard after it's already happened.
The Mounties is kind of a weird name for a team in California.
We did have the Gold Rush out here.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. This just feels Canadian to me.
We do have mountains.
Yeah, we do, somewhat.
We have a whole different types of mountains as well out here.
Yeah. Looking left again, and he will get it. It looks like he will catch it. Decent gain on the play. Off the 3rd and 11.
There he is.
Just enough for the first down.
Cameron Coleman. Magalay's favorite option, it looks like, out of the wide receivers for tonight.
You can see as soon as that ball snapped, he looked at Coleman and no one else. He had no idea of who to throw to but Coleman.
No need to go through any progressions there.
And that'll be handed off to, looks like, Elliott again. He will get a few yards before he's brought down.
Trey Elliott only coming into the game with 21 rushes for 131, but tonight looking like he's trying to take away from Akeem Macy as much as possible.
Well, so far he's doing a good job of it. Macy's been a non-factor in the game. Nice little gain. Looks to be about 6 yards on that rush. Scoreboard is not updated. And the short pass, and it'll be taken down, but for the first down, that was Scott again.
Scott leaving everything on the field tonight, it looks like, Brent.
You know, sometimes you got to show up, and this is one of those days where it's his game to show up.
Even though Long Beach City always deadly, even though they are unranked currently, they do know how to put up.
Long Beach had a bowl game victory last year, so.
They're not too far from it. They still got some veterans on there. Coach B-Buddy's got them playing always at a high level.
This quarter's gone by a lot quicker than the other ones, it feels like. And that is a handoff.
All right, he kept it.
And kept
holding
by the quarterback, but that would be a holding call.
On number 40, it looks like.
You'll see that quarterback use his legs once in a while, trying to catch the defense off guard. Might have gone to the wall too many times there.
Nice little read option that they had there.
That'll be number 6 for Mount Sac.
So it looks like finally the refs did see what I ended up seeing up in the booth here. A holding call brings and negates that gain.
Well, to be fair, you have obviously a way better vantage point, even though you're way further away and they're right next to it.
Brent, I don't got the stripes on, though. That gives them better eyesight than anybody.
Yeah, so, well, you know, sometimes zebras are blind. So
these ones were the first half.
Yeah,
only if you were on Long Beach City side.
Yeah, especially if you ask Peabody.
Yeah.
Crowded backfield, Trey Elliott will get the ball, and he will get some space.
Nice little cutback by the running back there. Seeing that opening.
Was 1st and 20. Few yards gain in the play. Still a long way to go. That'll be 2nd and sounds like 14. 6-yard gain on the run.
Looks like they're going to only have the single high safety. They chose to run it again.
And there, stop before he can make any movement forward.
Number 9, Michael Jackson, linebacker, 6'2", 230 from Compton, ends up filling that hole quite quickly.
He told Elliott to beat it.
And he told him to sit down and be humble.
Oh, hey, it's in his DNA, right?
Loyalty, man, to the defense.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure that everybody knows that this can be a big stop for LBCC right now. 3rd and 14, 3rd and long.
Just what LBCC needed. Their defense has been on this half, and there is going deep and deflected by the defense, going way further than they thought. And it looks like looks like we got another injury in the floor.
I think potentially that I'm going to be optimistic. It kind of looked like he might have knocked the wind out of himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I didn't see a ton of just foul play there. Just all of a sudden he was down. You never know, but you never know when you're up here. So,
as I mentioned, trying to be optimistic here. Have seen too many of these young athletes go down tonight, Brent.
Yeah, let's hope this is just, like you said, the wind knocked out of him and he can get back up and out of the field. So far,
athletic trainers out there with always way too many water bottles.
Well, you know, sometimes dehydration is the big killer here.
I'm hoping that one of those has Michael Jordan power juice from Space Jams. Hopefully give him a squirt or 2 of that and get him back up on his feet.
If that's in there, Long Beach needs it for the offense. Defense is fine. It looks like he's fine too as he's getting right back up. Doesn't need any assistance walking, so he should be good.
As seen,
Jeremiah Houston.
Nice little layout for that pass deflection, able to get the field goal unit, it looks like, onto the field. So this will be one of the longer field goals we have seen tonight.
Yeah, that is definitely a long field goal. 4th and 14 was the last. Counted the downs. Hopefully this man ate his Wheaties And most importantly, stretch that leg out because this is a long one and it is going, but it doesn't look like it's good enough.
And they're going to have a return on this, Brent.
They're returning it, looking to get some field
Cedric
position.
Bird is taking up the right side all the way back up to the 38, it looks like.
He's basically returned it back to where it was kicked.
Wow, Long Beach, as I was mentioning, seems to be a little out of any range for these kickers that we have on the field tonight. Big play to give some momentum back to Long Beach City after a nice defensive stop.
Very long gain, which definitely what Long Beach needed. And Long Beach obviously very happy with themselves on that one. Definitely needed, although they did move the ball pretty much back to where the ball was originally kicked, the 32-yard line. Referee's conferring about some things, throwing the flag. And another unsportsmanlike call on the coaches for Long Beach.
So actually, it's now the personnel staff that looks like they're putting the players for Long Beach City in a rock and a hard place occasionally after a big gain, after running back that field goal.
That is the second big unsportsmanlike conduct call, as we saw with that very awkwardly short field goal attempt earlier in the first half. So Long Beach's coach is not doing them a favor here. Obviously, I think the coaches might disagree, as Peabody made his claim about the first unsportsmanlike call in our halftime report. But we will see how Long Beach responds to this after losing 28 yards off of it. The players will line up.
Seems like there's still some discussion going on between the refs and the coaching staff for Long Beach. Coach Peabody, once again.
Coach Peabody is not happy. We saw that in the first half, and he is even more PO to this one. Now I think he's going to back away and just accept it. Not much he can do. Zebras have supreme power. As we all know, they are the superior race of animal.
At this point, we might be calling him just Marty.
Well, either way, Long Beach is gonna be around the 20. Loss of 20 yards or so, it feels like.
Coming out in the pistol.
Lowry's gonna need to make some gains here. Despite the officiating, as Coach Peabody mentioned in the first half report.
Alrighty, so we're still having some issues on the field, not currently being able to get a playoff. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left in this third quarter. Mount Sac 20, Long Beach City 17. If you're just joining us right now, it's been a very odd game on a Saturday night. Been littered with injuries on both sides, Mount Sac and Long Beach City. Penalties to go along with that, and those penalties that have hurt Long Beach City the most have been on the coaching staff, Brent.
That has been the big ones, and there's another call, it looks like. I guess PA was filling the crowd in on what happened, as they will hand it off to Elijah Bynum, who will break the first tackle and get some distance and get a little further.
Looks like there's potential of a
might have fumbled. Yeah, he fumbled there, and it was recovered by number 70 on Long Beach, covered by Alex Dalpe. Looks like he came up with it and might have actually moved it a yard or two further. Looked like a 5-yard gain on that. Elijah Bynum, actually that is his second fumble of the season.
Third fumble now.
Third.
Probably one of the main reasons why Elijah Bynum has not been in the game as much as Marquise Mason, as mentioned in the pregame, was the potential of him not being able to hold on to the football. So
now the Vikings are going to line up.
Putting their defense once again in a bad spot.
10. I imagine it's 2nd and 5, unless the ball was. Actually, no, I think the ball was recovered by Mount Sac.
Cannon Chandler with the run right there.
So Long Beach losing the ball on a fumble. Not how you want to do this. Once again, Long Beach's offense is struggling in the second and third quarter. The defense has improved, but Long Beach just can't catch a break here, losing the ball on a fumble.
Still in a good spot, Brent. We got plenty of time. Just.
And another interception. What a play and what a rough bring down
from no
by
turnovers.
Mount Sac.
From no turnovers in the first half to back-to-back turnovers in back-to-back plays. Almost.
Two turnovers back-to-back and 2 interceptions for Long Beach. This one a little bit more nimble. What a play by Long Beach.
After the first half of Brent, both you and I talking about not making a mistake, Magalay in the red zone ends up throwing up, which I don't believe too much was on him. It ended up getting tipped up, but
both I wouldn't give the interception cause to hit to Maglia. I think because he had the last one tipped too, but that was deflected off the throw. So we'll see. And another low snap, and that'll be given and not caught by the second running back, Mason.
Mason, I think, might have heard some footsteps right there.
I think he heard them loud and clear. And the only problem is when the ears hear the footsteps, the hands don't listen to the brain.
And when you see all your homies going down with injuries in the first half and now the third quarter,
that paranoia strikes in. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. This looks familiar. You feeling deja vu?
A little bit. Let's see.
Going short to Minix. Minix hasn't got a catch in a while. Very short gain on that. Minix obviously probably still a little fired up after that holding call that was not called.
I believe along with the rest of Long Beach City Viking fans,
3rd and 7.
That was a big play. Should have been 1st and goal.
3-yard gain on the catch by Minix. 3rd and 7. Long Beach needs to play here. Bird in motion. Or Bird in flight, should I say. And that will be caught by Bird, but not enough to get the first down. No, it won't be caught. It was incomplete. But that will bring up 4th down, and Long Beach once again just cannot move the ball forward at all.
You got to put that one on the quarterback, Brent. Not able to hit his receiver going across the middle open. Not sure if he would have maybe got the first down, but yet if he was able to hit him in stride,
instead of Bird can move, he could make some plays.
Give Bird a chance.
At least give the man a chance, but at this point, Lowry showed this in the first home game of the season. In the second quarter, he's just not, or the fourth quarter, he's not there. The third quarter, not even. The second half just isn't his time, and once again, coming really close. In fact, they might have got a piece of that.
That'll be a flag on Mount Sac for roughing the kicker. So, luckily enough, the kicker is okay and going off the field. We'll see it. What's the call on the field, though? For my estimation, that's going to be roughing the kicker. Long Beach City might have got a little bit of a break right here.
Yeah, that would definitely be what they needed. It did look like Sac may have gotten a piece, not that much of it, but they seemed to have gotten a piece of the ball.
So they'll get 15 yards on that, though, and put the offense back on the field for Long Beach City.
Yep, 1st down Vikings. So Vikings catch a break there. Of course, that was how they scored their last touchdown, was through movement by penalties. Now Grant Lowry is going to shake off the cobwebs and get this ball moving. Mason back in the backfield after Elijah Bynum fumbled and lost the ball.
All right, we'll see if the offense can hold up there into the bargain. Long Beach City's defense has been able to keep Mount Sac scoreless through this quarter.
And Long Beach has been able to keep themselves scoreless somewhat after even though they got a field goal. But they have not been able to move the ball, and the run play by Mason, not too many yards, a little bit of
getting a little feisty there.
Extracurricular activity going on there, and there's a flag.
There it is. Both of these teams being very undisciplined.
These teams both have to be a bit salty after that first half, especially Long Beach.
Well, a team as such as Mount Sac, Brent, I think them being ranked as highly as they are, and an unranked Long Beach City team, I think they might have thought they're coming into Veterans Stadium with maybe an easy win tonight.
And that is a call on the defense. So Long Beach will gain even more yards via penalties. Mount Sac with their 8th penalty on the game.
At this time, once again, we do always like to thank the Long Beach City College Band, along with the cheerleaders that like to show up every game.
Always keeping the game fun and engaging as another handoff. And he will get some distance, but look.
That will be, once
looked
again,
like a hold.
another.
I
don't know if they're going to call face mask.
Yeah, that look. He was
but
reaching high.
It's going to be a foul.
Yeah, that was
going
quite clear.
against Mount Sac.
That was quite clear a high grab, so we'll see what the refs decide. But that might have very well been that face mask, as you mentioned.
I know they're not calling horse collar because I believe it was horse collar last time, so I'm not going to go out. I think, Brent, I might be done with some of these predictions. I'm just going to call
well,
out.
He also called a holding, but apparently that was not a holding, even though he had him for the about 15 yards.
I'm still holding on to that one.
And there's the call on the defense, so that's
Alrighty,
another.
So there it is.
That's more movement for Long Beach off penalties. So far at this point, Long Beach might not need the team, just need the penalties, which is good because Long Beach has not been able to acquire that many yards on their own.
Mm-hmm.
This is the longest drive the Vikings have had, and all the yards have been by penalties.
Well, first half we had 6 for 97, and Mount Sac had 6 for 57. So you can see just right there, that's 160 yards just to round up of penalty yardage just in one half, and it's only gotten worse.
And there's been more, and some major ones too, with the roughing the kicker, and these last few. In fact, the ref hasn't picked up his flag yet. But Long Beach will move down the field.
So end of the third quarter, Long Beach City and Mount Sac both held scoreless. Not going to give much credit to almost either defense. Just.
You got to give a little credit to the LBCC defense.
Well, then you got to give a little bit of credit to Mount Sac. They're driven down the field. And there's been an interception.
Yeah, so they've done. Both teams have forced turnovers, which they didn't get in the first half. So obviously the defense are a little tightening up a bit more. You can tell because the defense has been tightening up a lot in Long Beach. Of course, the lack of discipline has been really hurting Mount Sac and really helping Long Beach. But eventually you got to get your own yardage and your own movement.
Yeah, Brent, at some point Long Beach City needs to just step up and try to put something together offensively right here.
Now someone needs to make a play, and Lowry's going to go short to Bird, and Bird's going to get walloped by that hit. Not much of a gain.
Number 23, Montez Evans.
Actually, scratch that. That was not Cedric Bird. That is actually, I think that's in for, that is Lawrence Nern. He was replacing Colin Monaco. And that'll bring the end of the third quarter. We will switch sides, and Long Beach will look to see if maybe this is their good side of the field.
This isn't the side that they scored their only touchdown on, so, well, their first touchdown, I should say.
So what did you make of the third quarter after that crazy second quarter?
Brent, the third quarter ended up being just like the first half. Injuries, penalties, and lack of offense from Long Beach City.
Yeah, both teams. Yeah, Long Beach can't move the chains right now. They had a forklift. So now the struggle is seeing if they can get some movement. They are in sack territory. It's just seeing how far they can get on 2nd and 8 on the 29. Long Beach, like I said, needs to make some movement. And so far, it's only been via penalties. And sadly, normally you can't score off a penalty.
Mount Sac with only 3 linemen.
Not too afraid of the run. They're looking for the pass.
Realizing that Long Beach hasn't been able to have any sort of ground game. Marquise Mason hasn't been able to make anybody miss, along with Elijah Bynum. But I would be surprised if we see Bynum again after that fumble.
Now
this is the time where your quarterback has to step up.
And right now he's stepping back. Pressure gone right near him, and he got the pass off and got a few yards on the play to Mike Wilson. Mike Wilson definitely playing a lot better and recovering after that injury earlier.
You got to have leaders on your offense sometimes. That might not always be your quarterback, but you have to have somebody out there that's willing to play through the pain.
The 6'3" sophomore has had an eventful game, to say the least, with the injury. And he only had 3 catches in the first half of 36 yards, as long as being 21. That one obviously won't come close to that. But that is still a forward gain of yards that Long Beach desperately needed. Maybe that's the momentum they need just to get the chains moving.
I'd like to know if there was a penalty.
That's what I'm thinking too, because they were moved back. So that play might have been for naught. We were not informed. Lowry going deep, and he will not get to him, just a little too ahead of him. Looking for Bird again.
Oh, once again, Brent, just not having the touch that we've seen him have in other games. Overthrowing his receivers just by steps. Coach Peabody, after the first half, down with our sideline reporter, Dylan Rust, made a mention to it that they're just been on the verge of just a few different plays of going big.
Just a step or two more, and that's a touchdown. The only problem is, once again, that was just thrown over him. 4th and 18. Long Beach is going to go for the punt here. Scott lining up again. Long Beach, once again, another disappointing drive off a turnover by Mount Sac.
Hopefully being able to down it. Oh, I'm surprised 10 ended up catching it right there.
I think he wanted to avoid the bad bounce. He thought liked the field position already. That was no, that wasn't Michael Jackson.
Justin Allman.
Yeah, that's definitely not Michael Jackson.
Well, for many different reasons. Wrong number.
Wrong number, wrong name, wrong existence, not as good of a dancer.
But still surprised that they ended up having great coverage on that pooch punt right there, being able to put Mount Sac down on their own 5-yard line, but being able to have a few other coverage men there. I thought they tried to let that low.
Punting was, for the most part, Long Beach's best part, even though Mount Sac scored a touchdown off a block punt.
I was just going to mention
that.
I don't want to put too much on that.
So now it's gone neutral, but whenever they've successfully punted, it's normally been inside or just outside the 10-yard line, just where you kind of want it, just further away in bad field position for the other team.
I've liked this setup, though, with 21 and 5 as the secondary in the backfield for Long Beach City.
And there's the run play. Looks like it will not gain much traction there. And it'll be stopped for either a no gain or a gain of 1.
Yeah, Samaj Parker and Justin Prince do like that lineup that they occasionally throw out there. They have not been able to do much against those two.
Substitutions coming in for Mount Sac.
Bringing in 40 for Mount Sac, who ended up having a huge holding call.
Gain of 2 on the play for that last run. Didn't seem like that much to me, but, you know, in the end, the referees have a better view of that. And now the defense trying to hype each other up. And there goes another attempt on it. And
looks like potential of a fumble right there.
And he's running into the end zone.
Long Beach City ends up taking the fumble. I'm not quite sure if that was a bad snap.
Long Beach is cheering. It looks like it might have been. It might have counted. It definitely counted.
And as Q would love to do, Michael Jackson, as Brent was just trying to give to number 10.
Don't worry, he got his recognition now.
Michael Jackson, sophomore, big boy, 230, out of Compton, comes up with the fumble
definitely
recovery.
Can't call him Little Michael.
He's not Little Mike. He's Big Mike.
He's Big Mike, that's for sure. He didn't need to moonwalk that into the end zone, but he sure is running out of it celebrating. And that will bring Long Beach actually in the lead, which they haven't had in a while in the fourth quarter.
Brent's already getting ahead of himself, putting points on the board for Long Beach City.
Guess not. Everyone was celebrating. Guess not.
Fumble recoveries tend to be celebrated.
Yeah.
I like that.
And there you go, the movement, yep.
All right. Nice little run up the middle by number 23, Marquise Mason
just
again.
Confused me there. Oh, well.
All righty, we'll see if we can have some veteran leadership going on right now. This is a big
Ball spot on the 4.
Big offensive push right here.
Second
could be
and
had.
goal. A lot of Mount Sac people here and chanting defense as Mason will gain a few yards, but I don't think enough on the play for a touchdown. Definitely not enough.
Looks like down on the 2, so it'll be 3rd and 2.
It's gotten closer, cut the distance in half.
He would like to hope that the Vikings could be able to push this into the end zone after being held scoreless for the entire 3rd quarter.
Long Beach needs to score here after I preeminently gave him it. So we'll see how Long Beach responds now.
My apologies.
I might have just cursed them.
First touchdown for the second half, I should say. That field goal coming in the 3rd quarter.
To be fair, after that, it just felt like they didn't score on that field goal. Had so much gain from the interception and just not to do anything with it. A field goal just feels like nothing at that point.
Not coming away with 6 sometimes. It seems like it can demoralize a team.
Especially one that hasn't scored in a long time. And it looks like
he's
trying. Dropping back. There's a flag on the play. There's a lot of flag on the play.
That'll be holding most likely in Long Beach. Him trying to break it out wide. Looks like his O-lineman kept trying to hold their blocks, but they held it maybe a little too long.
They definitely held their blocks, that's for sure.
We'll see what the call on the field is.
And that means Long Beach will probably have to settle for another field goal.
Well,
and that will tie up the game.
It'll be an interesting call to see if Mount Sac ends up accepting this.
Well, there are 2.
Or if they're going to. So there's the call that we thought. Okay, so they ended up accepting that. And the ref thinking it was 2nd down. It is going to be 3rd down, and most likely, I believe it should be 3rd and 12.
We'll see here as the referees are still discussing it.
Well, I don't see the sticks. That's what I thought they'd most likely do. So what they're going to do is most likely send out the field goal unit because he ended up not being able to get into the end zone there. They'll deny that penalty and let Long Beach City kick it from the far left hash.
Long Beach, if this field goal goes in, will tie up the game. Even though it feels like they're just down further, just the way they've played in the last 2 quarters besides the defense. Now Long Beach has to trust the defense again to keep stopping this offense, but you wonder how long are they going to keep doing that. Luck runs out eventually, and especially a talented offense like this, as the kick is up and good. Long Beach now needs to figure out how to get a good stop and, most importantly, how to get a score. Long Beach just can't move the ball without penalty.
The way this game's going, it looks like a field goal potentially might be the winner of this game. Whoever could get into some decent field position and put it in for 6, sure. But the way this game's been going back and forth this second half.
The way Long Beach's been playing, they can't be too confident in their ability to move the ball. So you got to trust that defense to at least get the field position they need to somehow make a play. But so far, Long Beach hasn't had that player making a play right now.
Long Beach has, in my mind, we're going to throw out Justin Prince, as I said, number 21 of the backfield, secondary, I should say, for Long Beach City. Look for him to make some big plays.
Well, right now, Long Beach is making big plays on defense, so they need to make another one after this kick.
Number 3, number 1, back to return. Scott and Chandler. Most likely keeping it away from their burner, number 1, Ametrius.
Probably going to go right to Chandler like they did last time. Kick is up, and that will go into the end zone, and it will not be returned. So that will put the ball in the 25.
Well, you got to take all the good you can out of that drive. It might not have been ending in 6 points for Long Beach, but being able to tie up the game with 12 minutes left, let's start a new one.
That is definitely something that Long Beach needed, especially after the streak the defense has been on. of getting the stops they need and forcing 3 turnovers in the second half. So Long Beach needs to at least keep them in decent field position because, as I said, the offense just can't get it moving. They need a penalty to even have a drive.
All right.
2 plays or 2 drives on this game have been only penalties, so we got to see how Long Beach can recover from that.
Justin Prince, high safety right now.
Dropping back and throwing his jive, and it will be caught easily past the first down marker and run out of bounds.
Demetrius has been everywhere for Mount Sac.
And Demetrius is definitely their main guy today.
Him, Coleman, and Macy, it seems like. And Trey Elliott. About 4 of the Mount Sac players have added up to the majority of their offense throughout this entire game.
There's a flag.
Looking like a false start on Mount Sac.
That will be actually penalty number 10 for Sac, if I'm counting correctly. I could be wrong. Give or take 2 or 3 penalties, especially with how many there's been called.
We might have missed one.
Well, the refs sure did.
Yeah. Oh, and then I gave him benefit of the doubt because I missed one as well.
And dropping back and
nice QB
taking
draw.
It himself, and down he goes.
Thought he was a running back right there. Realized he wasn't. Tried to go down, but Long Beach City, number 11, Darian Bunton, letting him know that a freshman at a Bellflower weighing 230 will let him know whose house this is.
Maglia will, obviously with the draw there, he's been a bit of a mobile quarterback, not taking the ball too many times.
He was reminding me of a Dak Prescott.
That was his 3rd run attempt. If my count is correct, might be his 4th, but that is another catch, and that will also go for a decent gain. After that, 3rd and 12. Or actually, no, that is a very good question.
Mount Sac being able to play some no-huddle offense right now. Pretty impressive.
And there's the pass. It's going to go low and miss the target.
Believe there might have been some miscommunication right there. I think potentially Mount Sac, number 5, ended up not running the correct route. That's Darian Hambrick. He might have some words said to him, considering he was also the one who dropped that pass in the first half that hit him right in the chest.
Another shiny back play, this time on Long Beach.
And that's our boy right there, shiny black plate and all. Going back to the coverage.
Up it goes, and
so that's a fake punt.
That's a fake, and that will be it.
And it got him more than the first down.
Long Beach just fell for a fake punt. That's what it's
looks like it's all the way down to the 31 of Long Beach City.
ADD defense there.
Well. Sean Payton almost once again. I don't know why I need to be throwing out just him, but maybe for the fact if you weren't with us earlier, Mount Sac ended up kicking off on the Long Beach City's 35-yard line and went aggressive with an onside kick.
Or at least an attempt at it.
An attempt. They didn't end up getting that, but once again, doing some trickery. Fake punt to the right.
There's been a lot of trickery in the play, a lot of read options and a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of players in motion.
Yeah, putting Demetrius Scott.
Definitely keeping Coach Peabody's play calling and his defensive line on their toes.
Once again, here it is, up the middle.
And that will gain a few yards of the play before he's brought down.
Number 54 from Long Beach making the stop.
Right now, gullibility killing the Vikings.
Not listed on the roster. I apologize for no first name for 54, but nice stop.
Ball on the 28-yard line, 2nd and 8. Dropping back, Maglier, and that will go, and he will get it. Stops right around the 5.
Looks like there's going to be holding on the offense, though. That'll most likely be coming back, which I feel bad about the fact that was a beautiful ball thrown up.
That play
Demetrius Scott.
That play was
nice
phenomenal.
Catch.
Very phenomenal. And just, that's one of those things. Penalties have been killing Mount Sac. In fact, they hadn't had so many penalties. I think Long Beach actually might have been further down than they actually are.
Well, Brent, I might have to change my occupation. It looks like I have continuously called most of these penalties. I might have to leave you in the box by yourself.
I mean, to be fair, refereeing pays better.
Yeah, the only other thing is that no one's yelling at us. Seems like tonight a lot of people are yelling at the Zebras.
No one's yelling at us yet. Don't worry. This broadcast will end soon, and then, you know.
And then it's Saturday night, and Saturday night's for the boys.
Oh, yeah. Well, on the 38-yard line, 2nd and 18.
We'll see what they can dial up. Wouldn't be surprised if they ran the ball again.
They have the time.
Nope. Drop back to pass.
Short pass, almost intercepted. Diving play, but the deflection's still there.
Jeremiah Houston with the layout right there. Inglewood representing on the hash lines over there.
And planned for Coleman. Favorite target of Maglier. So now we'll see if they can overcome this at the 3rd and 18. Ball in the 38 after that huge fake punt return.
Gonna have to be a screenplay, quick slant, something. I don't see them going deep right here, Brent.
Yeah, right now you just getting the distance for the field goal might be good for them, and right now they're dropping back, and it looks like they are gonna go somewhat deep. The catch is good, but not enough.
That will put them in field goal range.
And he's still fighting for it, but down he goes. Catch was Darian Hambrick. Hambrick with the chest catch earlier.
Looked like Darian Bunton bringing him down. Hopefully Long Beach City will be on their toes, as you were mentioning earlier.
Oh, man, if they fell to a fake field goal on the same play as a fake punt.
Be one for the books for this drive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be one for the books, and let's just say someone might be looking at another job very soon after that, too. That is definitely a kick, and it is no good. Just the break Long Beach needed, still getting bailed out even after the fake punt. A lack of competency by the kicker is bailing out Long Beach here.
Brought up earlier was how the punter has been doing great for Long Beach City, yet the field goals have been atrocious. Many misses. Not quite sure. I'm telling you right now, there needs to be some soccer player out there watching this game going, I have a new career. At Mount Sac, I shall be a field goal kicker.
Probably not a very good one then, because he'd probably be making money off of it. And probably a little bit more than going to college for it. And there's a short pass. It'll be caught, and he'll be brought down just around a 5-yard gain for Cedric Bird.
It's one of those things. I think it's just mental. A lot, and we were talking about this. A lot of sports is mental. It's momentum. It's morale. It's certain plays that you don't get called for. When you're a kicker and you end up missing a field goal to put your team up, can you really rely on him if there's, say, a minute left at the end of the game, or do you just leave your offense on the field?
I just feel like that's not the first he's missed.
It's not.
And that's the thing about that game. That's got to be even more demoralizing. Just feels like a lot of pressure coming to Lowry. Lowry's smart to throw it away, avoiding the sack.
Luckily enough, outside the pocket right there, not going to need to take the intentional grounding call.
Yeah, he'll avoid that, so he's good there.
Luckily enough, our PA announcer saw the same thing I did.
Long Beach, like I said, needs a gain of yardage. Being in this territory is not knowing helping them. 3rd and 5.
This is when you got to go to your main man. Cedric Bird's got to step up right here.
Bird needs to fly here, and so far, the wings have been clipped.
I don't know if it's his wings or McGowan's arm.
Right now,
Lowry's arm, excuse me.
Right now, Cedric Bird's been flying like a penguin, and that will be enough after the hit. Looks like that'll get the first down. That pass
Forward
is actually
momentum ends up taking him
that
over
was
the
to
first
Mason,
yard line.
the running back, as you said. Running backs got to be hybrids. They got to do both, and there you go. Get you a guy who can do both, and they just did that.
Exactly right. I like this, seeing the hurry up a little bit. Empty back set now here, Brent. Looking like they might be bringing pressure, though. We'll see. They are. Can you get rid of
wide,
it?
going
You got rid of it.
He's got the space. Almost may have gotten the first down on that one. Once again, back to Mason. Hey, you know, he's catching the ball. That's what they need right now.
Latre Truckwes bringing him down.
What a name, Latre.
Latre Jacques.
Oh, man. Oh. Oui. Okay, now Grant Lowry throwing the ball up the middle, taken down low, but he will get the gain. Not a ton of yardage going back to number 5.
Who has replaced
Calamonaco.
has come up big.
Lawrence Nern, and that's a first down for the Vikings.
See, I like this. I wish
Ball
there was
on the 50.
Need a little more up pace. We need the pace to keep going. Keep the defense on the field. Don't let them have any subs. Oh, come on.
And waiting on the coaches again. All right, now I think you just got to give the reins to Lowry and just say, hey, go with it. Keep this going at the pace you said.
Looks like they're bringing pressure. They're doing it again. They're going to give him
They're
time.
going to go short to Bird, and Bird's got space. He's getting some distance with players at his back. He drops the ball, though. Fumbled and recovered, but dropped again. Diving on it, and Long Beach may have recovered it. Both teams fighting for it. If that's recovered by Long Beach, that's a huge play. Bird might have gotten it back.
I think they're going to mark him down and not call that a fumble, because what it looks like is when he turned over, I don't know if we'll get a replay of that or not, because it looks like they're just going to call him down. But when he turned around and went down to the ground,
it looks like that would be a completion.
His back ended up running into the ground, or he laid down onto the ground pretty hard.
Yeah,
and that popped out at that time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Long Beach definitely needed the break there, because, man, that would have been exactly what the last thing needed, another fumble, especially by their best receiver in Bird. And it looks like Mason getting a little bit of yardage, but not much on the play.
It looks like there's another penalty marker down. Yeah. I'm not going to be one to call this one out, Brent. You have any you got any guesses on this one?
At this point, it could be anyone. It could be anything. They've been called for so many things that it's just not even worth guessing at this point.
It has to be on the defense in my mind.
Yeah, it looks like Long Beach is celebrating a bit, so it looks like a defensive play.
Not quite. It's a face mask? Okay.
Yeah, it's a face mask, so that'll be another one. Number 12 on Mount Sac.
Well, this game, Brent, is coming down, I don't want to say to the wire quite yet, but we got 5:25 left to go.
And LBCC Long Beach has some momentum.
Inside the red zone again, but this is where...
But they're catching breaks, too.
This is where their offense hasn't been able to really come through as much as we'd like, though.
That is true, but at least their kicker has a better percentage than the other team.
Look for Mike Wilson on top. Single coverage up there, Brent.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if Grant Lowry wants to test it after that ankle injury. And it looks like they will, but it looks like a pass interference.
They're going to have a pass interference finally.
Yeah. Well, you know, at least this time, you know, he wasn't holding on to him for about 15 yards.
No, he wasn't.
Dragging him along, you know. That's the only that slowed Mix down. The referees are talking about this, so that's nice to know.
I'm going to be curious on what they end up calling. I mean, they have to, right?
Well, we said that last time.
Yeah.
This was very similar to that play. He's getting a third opinion on it. He's not quite sure. There he goes. There he goes. He finally got it. That's an automatic first down. Ball on the 2-yard line. Surely Long Beach can move the ball 2 yards.
All right. Well, at this point, I'm not gonna do the same thing. You can see that Mike Wilson's gonna be double covered. He's gonna drop into coverage there. I'm gonna say they're gonna do the same thing they did last time, Brent. They're gonna take Minix on the right side, single coverage.
Well, hopefully this time we'll have someone holding on.
Oh, they're going to go up the middle.
They're going to Mason.
And
Mason looks like he got in. Mason's in. Long Beach is celebrating. Sounds like touchdown Vikings. Fans playing and everything. Of course, they did that last time, and we were all wrong. But it looks like it'll count.
Add another touchdown to Mason's stats.
Mason having a day.
2 total touchdowns.
Mason's having himself a game, especially the second half. That last drive was all Mason. and 1 part bird.
The wings were not clipped.
He didn't fly like a penguin this time.
Lowry just
And the
ended up
extra
being
point
able
is
to get him
good.
a good pass.
Yep. And all of a sudden he flew like an eagle and then dropped the ball. But thankfully he was down before that.
Did I see another?
And here's
did I
a
see
slow-mo.
another flag on the field though?
Here's a slow-mo on the play. Here's him jumping over, and it looks like he just got over just enough. Gets lost in translation there.
Looks like number 77 from Long Beach ended up Steven Almada. Let's see it for him. Freshman, 6'4", 312, big body from Lawndale, giving him a nice push into the end zone.
Definitely doing what he needed to do. The offensive line's got to be proud after losing Tim Johnson, passing away recently after complication from a car crash. He was on the offensive line as well, so that's obviously got to be a big moment for them, especially getting a win if they do. But so far, it's late in the game. Less than 5 minutes. Long Beach up 7. Now Long Beach will kick it off again. Long Beach having a better kicking game than Sac. And that's probably the main thing that's been keeping them in it and keeping Sac out of the game.
With that penalty, Long Beach will be kicking off on their 50.
And that will
And they're
definitely
gonna
go
try
in the
that-
end zone.
Oh,
No,
I
they're gonna
thought
touch
that there
back.
might be a return on that, Brent.
Both times they've kind of faked it, but then they just looked in the field and scanned it and just said no. So I think a lot of times you have to just gauge it from there. And they gauge it as, nope, we can't do that. So that will be a touchback, and that'll be a 25 ball on the 25-yard line for Mount Sac. Looking to get the drive here. And exactly what they need is now a touchdown. Which, I mean, to be fair, I don't think they're going to rely on that kicker too much anymore anyway. So you can expect all runs and passes here. At this point, 4th down is just another down for Mount Sac.
Well, depending on when they get over there, this potentially might be 4-down territory for Sac.
And there's the run. And there is the run play, going out wide, and he will get past a lot of the defense.
First time we've seen him, I believe, Andre Walker, number 20.
Andre Walker out of Pomona, California.
Nice little run there, dropping the shoulder and getting a few extra yards.
5'10", 195 sophomore. Definitely his first touch of the game, that's for sure. So maybe Mount Sac trying something new as the stuff wasn't working. They're getting down the field, it's just getting the points.
Looks like Prince is playing on the left side, right side of Sac, defensively.
Scott in
21.
motion again. And there's another run play, and that will not get very far, but he'll be knocked. They'll be knocking on the first down door.
Number 42, Adebayo Surimacum from Los Angeles with that stop right there, coming in and filling the gap.
That'll be 3rd and 1.
Big play right here for Long Beach.
They can get a stop. That'd be something they could use. But right now, that run game has been very powerful for Mount Sac.
I see a conservative play call right here, just getting the first down.
And there it is. And it looks like they will get the first down and a little bit more. Brought down around the 40.
That will get you some more plays on the offense when you keep churning the legs like that and not stopping after first contact.
Definitely one of those things. Getting those yards.
Getting them
with
yaks.
Getting them yaks, yes,
Yards
exactly.
after contact, always good to see.
Getting them yaks, and by that I don't mean a hairy cow. And now the Long Beach Show Band is playing Iron Man, and right now they need several of them on the defense. Especially because right now and that pass was deflected. As I was saying, Long Beach needs several of them as the running back has glanced off a few of them and kept going. If they were Mayor of Honor, it would have been a little harder for him to do that.
I will state, Brent, I did not see it coming down with Long Beach City up in this game. Just how this game is unfurled.
3 minutes to go in the game.
Wouldn't think Long Beach City would be up by a full touchdown right now.
I'd be impressed they even got a touchdown. And the other thing is they've limited Mount Sac to the lowest amount of yards they've had in a while. Mount Sac is a high-scoring team, and so is Long Beach. Both teams aren't scoring, as the handoff will be to the running back again. Brought down after a little bit of a gain. That was
34.
Trey Elliott again. Trey Elliott. There you go. Couldn't find my paper.
34 for Trey Elliott. Zach has now replaced number 20, Andre Walker, and he has now been able to pick up a few little chunk yardage plays.
Ton of running for Mount Sac. 4 different people running the ball in this game.
Let's see how their play call goes.
And there's the
That
pass.
looks like
It's
an
up.
interception.
And no, it's incomplete.
Number 5, Hambrick, if I do recall, has now had a few drops, but that one being
That one,
I'll give him a pass on that.
Yeah, I'll give him the pass on that one too. He
well
had,
defended.
yeah.
Number 5, I believe, actually was on the coverage. And that was Samuel Parker.
Shelton as well on the featured on our camera there on the side.
4th and 4, biggest play of the game for not only Long Beach but for Mount Sac.
And Sac is going to go for it, as they are first off not even in field goal range, but second off they would need to get even closer for their kicker to even use it. And there's the pass, and it'll be caught, and he'll be brought
That will
down.
be
And
a
that's the
first down
There's the
by
first.
inches. Game of inches,
Chris
number 24.
Chris Jackson catching that. Also from Pomona.
Not getting out of bounds will let the play clock continue to roll. Mount Sac does have 3 timeouts.
Well, I think they are trying to use as much time as they can, and also trying to get the last possession of the game. No 2-minute warning, so they got to keep moving. And there's another run by Trey Elliott, and Elliott won't get very far.
Getting some big stops, though. They're getting hit hard. I like to see that still. Moving to the ball very nicely is Darian Bunton. Once again, have mentioned his name a few times in the second half. First half, 2.5 tackles, and adding to that this second half by a few.
So Mount Sac finally using timeout.
148 left in this game. 159. I apologize. Putting back up time after that timeout was called.
Now it's 151.
If you're just joining in, Long Beach City College 27, Mount Sac 20. Fourth quarter. Here we go. Saturday night living.
Late night Saturday night, and what do? We play football.
Thank you for the Long Beach City cheerleaders, along with the band that has been able to provide lovely music for us this entire evening, giving us a little bit of Bruno, giving us a little bit of Ozzy, letting the cheerleaders do their thing.
Even getting us some movie soundtracks.
I've been missing. I need some Jedi. I don't understand why we haven't had some Star Wars tonight.
That's very true.
I mean, everybody knows we're on the dark side.
Oh yeah.
We're the Vikings. We
Dark
come
Viking.
We come to pillage. Just like we should do right now. Defense looking for a big stop right here.
Not need to ransack and
Here
pillage
comes
that
number
quarterback,
10 off
and
the-
here he comes, but no, thrown away, and
Ooh,
looks like
not
a
what
pickoff.
she should be doing. That is not picked off.
Nope.
89 was the intended receiver.
No, tried to get to it, but could not.
Austin Griffin is a big boy, 6'7", 240. Not
That
able
would've-
to get that one.
That would have been a play. That would have probably ended the game. But no, Long Beach will have to continue. 3rd and 7.
I would like to
Ball on the
say that
46.
was Justin Almond, a.k.a. Michael Jackson occasionally, according to Brent.
No, that was
coming
number 10.
off.
I think-
that would be who I'm talking about,
No, that
coming off
wasn't
the
him.
edge. No?
Oh yeah, that was number 10. Yeah, that was number 10 going on the line.
All right, perfect. Glad Glad we're on the same page. Number 4 coming
And
in,
there's a
having
sack.
a huge sack.
Mount Sac
4
got
and
sacked.
42 on the defensive stop right there, putting number 8 on the ground.
Long Beach putting the sack in Mount Sac there. I know, I liked it too. But 1:37, Long Beach needed that, and that is 4th and 12.
So once again, a 4th down play. This one being a little longer than the first one. We'll see what Mount Sac ends up having up their sleeves.
Especially now they're not in, they're in Mount Sac territory. I mean, granted, 1 yard into it, but still they have a long way to go, and 1:37 left.
Well, they need to work on these 12 yards first, Brent, but then they got to start looking into where they need to get for their Hail Mary throw.
That's true.
Because at this point, a field goal is not going to do it for them, and there's not enough time in my mind even to, say, hit at the 30 and kick a field goal and then try for the onside kick even.
And even then, you can't even rely on the field goal kicker tonight.
No, you
So
can't.
at this point, it's better just to get that touchdown and not have to worry about it.
Well, we all know what happens when you score too much time on the clock and have a good quarterback. We saw what happened to Dak Prescott, but I
don't know if I put Grant Lowry in the same place as Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, you're stating that he just wants 6 points on the board. It's hard to get 6 points. You take them when you can get it, but look
That's true.
This second half has been not very nice for Mount Sac.
That has been very true. It hasn't been nice
Here
to me
comes
to them.
pressure.
Almost another sack, and will not come up with it. Turnover on downs.
Huge hit by number 5 over
that
the
might
middle.
have sealed the fate of Mount Sac.
Samaj Parker with one of the bigger defensive plays for this game. Looked like potentially that one could have been
There's
caught.
another injured player down. Because, why not at this point?
Once again, Brent and I do not like seeing
especially this late in the game.
Any injuries happen, but tonight has been riddled with them.
Yeah, the injury report's going to get a lot longer, and definitely not something we want to see. And at a bad time, too, with 1:31. Ball's just been turned over by your team. It's got to be even more demoralizing. Given that late turnover, and now another player on the field.
Well, this will be a huge victory for Long Beach City if they can hold on. It's 1:31 left in the fourth quarter. They are on Mount Sac's 49.
Always needs to move the ball. And
hopefully, some conservative play calling right now. And let Marquise Mason do what he's done.
Oh, he's
this
done
whole
something.
game. Well,
okay, what he's done in this quarter.
I'm fine with that. As long as he's been able to hold on to the ball.
And looks like he's up. Injured player was
number 75.
Chapman out of El Dorado Hills by way of Oak Ridge.
Well, that's a good sight to see him walking off and two of his teammates helping him to do that.
It's been a lot better than some of the other ones where we've had some very massive injuries, including a broken ankle. So, obviously, it's good to see some minor.
Mount Sac does have a timeout left. Even though they're in the pistol, I would be very surprised if this does not go to Mason with an easy handoff.
Looks like the line got to give it to Mason. Not too much by the way of receivers. Now we'll see.
I would see a run to the right now, even with the pressure coming off the right side. Or Sac's left, LBCC's right.
And there's your one to the right, and he'll get some yardage. Not too much, but that'll keep the clock moving.
It's exactly what you want to see at the end of the game, Brent, just being able to run the football. It's even better when you're able to pick up 4 yards. You give 3 of those, that's a first down. Only giving him 3 on that.
Yeah, only a 3-yard game, but even then, you still have another down if you keep doing it.
Well, at this point, though, that was Mount Sac's last time out, so they will not be able to stop the next 2 plays, which will put them down with little to no time.
And with that, they'd need a miracle. The receiving core hasn't been all
After
that
how
there
tonight's
recently.
been going, we might be in need of one. With all the injuries we've happened, I'd like to maybe see a miracle.
Honestly, this LBCC win this game might be considered one the way they were playing.
The way they started out, the way the game opened. 61-yard kickoff return.
Shaky, to say the least. This team was about as shaky as someone in the tundra in only their underwear.
You know, but it shows you the resilience, though, of this team. Able to keep everything together as much as possible, even with those really large penalties that ended up coming from the staff.
And there's a run play. There's
some
like a
holding.
flag.
Is that going to be holding?
Probably.
Looks like a false start, potentially.
With these refs, could be anything.
All right, the refs are getting into their usual conference little huddle. We'll see what comes out of this. So it will be against Long Beach City, it looks like.
Which will also stop the clock, which is exactly what SAC needed. Legal formation. Well, like I said, that'll stop the clock, which SAC will take.
Well, the clock was not moving after coming out of that timeout, so all that ended up doing was just pushing back Long Beach City.
Now move them back. Long Beach down to 49. Well, actually, that would be more the 42.
It's the 42-yard line.
42. For some reason, I wanted to say 3, and I'm like, that is not right.
All right.
Needs a decent gain here.
Well, the clock is moving.
3.
I would be surprised they use a timeout right here. Yeah.
Now I gotta talk it over real quick.
Well, this game is pretty much as close as you can get to being over. Long Beach City with some crazy penalties and injuries, and this game has just been so weird.
There's been crazy injuries and penalties on many sides.
This second half has had, I'd say, even just actually the fourth quarter has been the only quarter I feel like where there was ever able to have any sort of drives happen.
Yeah.
Every drive has been either halted or stopped or pushed back because of penalties, injuries, or blown coverages.
This is the epitome of an up and down game, and I don't mean in terms of moving up the field, unless you count via penalties. And this is also produced by students of the Radio and Television Department of Long Beach City College. Once again, if you want to join up, you should definitely check out the website, although registration, I imagine, is closed by now since it's basically halfway through the semester. But we've got a bunch of great staff and a bunch of great gear and even better students, so come on down and try it out in the G building.
LBCC.edu, 8-week classes, I believe, end in a few more days for enrollment.
Not sure the RTV program has any 8-week classes.
I want you to come down anyways.
Yeah, and there's
Alrighty.
a short run there, and that will bring up 4th down.
So with 40 seconds, this game is pretty much now sealed up. About 8 seconds difference between. So even if they do run this all the way down and use a timeout, there'll be about 8 seconds. So there is the potential of Mount Sac getting the ball back with, as Brent said, in the need of a miracle touchdown.
Crazier things have happened. This would need to be Flutie-esque. And that is going to be about 15 and a little bit more. So, yeah, there's going to be very little time.
All right, I was about as close
9
as you
seconds.
can get. 8 seconds, 9 seconds. As Brent said earlier, we are not up here being mathematicians. We're calling a football game for everyone. If you were just joining us.
You can do a lot in 9 seconds, but winning a football game might not be one of them.
If you were just tuning in to this broadcast, it has been a lively and eventful football game.
Yep, it's definitely been a football game, and lively and eventful. It's been a crazy game, but once again, looks like Long Beach might have actually been able to pull it off here with 9 seconds left.
Alrighty, we're gonna see what they want to do. All right, so I believe what they're gonna do is just take a knee or run it around, either one. But they'll be finishing this game out.
There you go. Oh! Well, that didn't get anywhere. But that will end the game. Or no, it won't. That will stop the clock at 4 seconds. You know, you can do a lot in 4 seconds, but winning a football game isn't one of them.
I believe that Brent is now on repeat. It is getting late over on the West Coast here. It is 9:30.
And now the clock has disappeared, so I guess that might have just ended it. No, they'll keep the ball, but the clock, well, the clock's dead. The clock is just, I don't know what's happened to it, but the clock is suffering.
Well, it has been another nice production put on by Long Beach City College. Personally want to thank all of our cameramen for giving us these good angles on the monitor, along with our athletic director providing us with stats and statistics.
And another sack to end the game, possibly. Looks like it will be. They're all trying, and there's a lateral. The trickery, he's got space, but he's brought down, and that's going to end the game.
Well, will do it. Long Beach City
and
College
lively
Vikings.
till the end. And that'll be it for tonight. We will see you guys next time. I am Brent Potovan, and this is Alex Wallace, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.